are with Morris Boutin on November 17th down at Maggie's in Morris's office, his field office, where he spends every morning.
When you're every morning, yeah.
Every morning for
When
coffee,
morning, yeah.
holding court.
Holding court.
Okay. Well, Morris, we're just going to follow the trail of your life. And one of the first questions I have is just, where were you born and raised?
Right here in Bayfield.
Whereabouts exactly?
Second house up here on the hill up here, where what the heck used to live? Oliver Shelley. We used to live.
Okay.
That's the house.
Who's in there now?
I don't know who's in that house now.
Yeah, that's some new people there. But Oliver Shelley used to live there. I think it
Yeah.
was the home also of David Cooper years ago.
Yeah, that's
on
an old
Cooper
house.
Hill.
Only that's an old house. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an old Cooper Hill
And,
house.
and so when did your folks come here, roughly?
In the 1800s.
Yeah, the Boutin family, as he knows it, came in about 1870.
Yeah.
And there were 7 brothers, and one I would suspect would be like your great-great-grandfather.
Yeah.
His name was Ed.
Eddie Boutin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he had a son named Eddie, who
Yeah.
would have been your father's dad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
where did they come from?
Originally from Canada, then they moved down to Two Rivers.
Uh-huh.
That's when my ancestors were. They come from Canada. They moved to Two Rivers, and that's when they brought, I don't know what, 64 families up here from Two Rivers to Bayfield. That's when they started all the fishing and everything here in Bayfield.
Uh-huh. And you said there were 7 brothers
Yeah. Well, I couldn't name them.
back then, but
Yeah.
what was your dad's name?
Ulrich Boutin.
Huh?
Ulrich.
Ulrich.
Yes.
So Ulrich sounds like a German name or something.
Well, more French and German.
French.
Yeah.
So the Boutin is really a French-Canadian
Yeah,
background?
yeah. Well, my mother, see where that comes in. My mother was mostly German. My dad was mostly French, so I'm a mixture there, French and German.
Yeah, right.
What was your mom's name?
Tressa.
Tressa.
Yeah.
What was her maiden name? Do you remember?
Wicks.
Wicks.
Yeah. They're from Marshfield.
Okay. So Ulrich married Tressa Wicks probably in the early 1900s, somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's right.
And you were born,
1921.
you remember, and how much older was your brother Allison?
Took 5 years between us.
5, and how much between him and...
Manny was 3, and my sister was 13.
So she would have been the oldest then.
13 years between I and my sister. My dad always kidded me. He said, "You're not mated."
What was her name?
Vera. Vera. Yeah. Our first boat was named after the Vera Bee.
So if you were born in 1921,
21.
Vera would have been born in about 1911.
Yeah.
She'd have been about the same age as
Yeah.
my Aunt Ollie.
Yeah.
She would have been in the class of 29.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there was Allison in age, and then Manny, then yourself.
Dad and myself. Yeah.
Okay.
I was the baby of the family.
Yeah. I remember you telling me when I used to work for you, Morris, how some of the first memories you had was riding around with your dad in the back of the boat in a fish box.
Oh yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your that early period in your life. Go back as far as you can remember. I know you can remember the fish box ride anyway.
Well, I can remember, when my dad, when the school was out in the summertime, well, my mother, or my dad practically brought me up when my mother died, and I was on the lake with him all the time, He always didn't want to take me on the lake when I was small all the time, He wanted me to stay ashore, so I'd go and call under the stern dike, and I'd hide under there. And then we'd get out on the lake, I'd come out and he'd be mad. I must have been wise enough because he wouldn't turn around and take me and leave me off again, because you have to keep me there the rest of the day.
Yeah. You would have probably, did you go to the parochial school in Bayfield when you were a kid?
Yeah.
So you're about 5 or 6 years old and you were Shanghaiing yourself in the boat.
Yeah.
Is that when you first decided you maybe wanted to be a fisherman,
I don't
or did
know.
that come later in life?
No, I always liked it. I'm something like my grandson Craig here. He just loves it too. My dad always said, he says, "I know he's trying to teach you anything, because he says, right in your blood, that's all you want to do is fish."
So it started off right as a little kid.
As a little
What
kid.
was the name of the boat that your dad was hauling you around in those days? Did they have a name on it?
The
Or
Vera Bee, named after my sister.
named after your
In
sister?
fact, I had a picture of that boat home.
Did you?
Yeah.
Who built that boat for him? Did he build it himself, or?
Well, I'll tell you how we got it. Gagne's, years ago, they built a brand new boat. And we bought that boat from them. And that's how we happened to get that. It had a 1-cylinder Regal in it.
Okay. About an 8-mile-an-hour boat or 6-mile-an-hour
My
boat?
dad used to say it never could break ice, you know, he said you can't go through thick fog.
Yeah. So that was the Vera B.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, your grandpa, Eddie Boutin? You probably got...
No, I only remember my dad used to tell me about him. I don't remember him.
You and I talked many times about him being at the south end of Rocky there.
Oh, yeah.
And that was Eddie Boutin's
Yeah.
homestead there and stuff.
Yeah.
Was he one of those guys, probably Morris, that fished out of the old Mackinaws in the old
Oh,
days?
yeah. I got to tell you a story about Donnie was with him. And Donnie was always bullheaded, my dad said. You could never teach him that, you know. In them days, when there wasn't any wind, they'd row. So they would come along Rice's Island Sandpoint, and Eddie was steering and Donnie was rowing. Pull on your right oar, you know. He wouldn't turn out. He said, turn out. He said, this boat ain't got legs.
Who was Donnie?
My uncle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So Ulrich had, how many brothers did Ulrich
There was
have?
Clifford, Donnie, and Leo. 3 brothers.
And then Ulrich, and they were the sons of Eddie Boutin.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Okay. Donnie Boutin, ever married?
No, never was.
How about Leo?
Leo never was either.
And the third one was Clifford.
Clifford, and he was out west for many, many years. He went out to an old Henry Waxman. I don't know if you ever heard the story about him when he moved out west, when he made all that money in the timber during the First World War.
Okay.
Well, that's where he went and worked for him for years and years. Then he finally come to Bayfield. He was getting pretty old when he come back to Bayfield here.
Yeah. Do you remember him pretty well then?
Oh,
or-
yes, yeah.
What was his personality like?
Oh, real good natured.
Yeah.
Real good natured, yeah.
Donnie Boutin, tell me a little bit about his
Well,
personality.
Donnie, you remember here when he used to, you've heard about when he used to haul all the coal in here by railroad, the cars, he used to stop at the sand and one here. And he used to shovel on a load, a carload of that in one day, shovel it by hand.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He'd done that for years.
Yeah.
And then I was just thinking this morning, what is the name up there? You used to run up there where the candy shop is now, I had that years ago.
Well, Cahill was there
No.
before him.
Used to be a coal shop near freight outfit.
Oh.
I can't think of that guy. Well, anyway, that's why they used to unload coal here. In the truck.
H.J. Hanson?
H.J. Hanson. Then they hauled it up there and put it up there. And that's, well, I got coal from him when I first got married. For my house, that's what I burnt.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So there's the boys there, but then there's some other Bayfield Boutins too.
Well, there was Louis Boutin.
Who was his?
That was, crap, I can't hear. There was Louis, used to be on Oak Island Sandpoint, I can't think of his name. Theodore. They were
Okay.
brothers.
Okay.
And Wesley Boutin, there was another one. There was another brother.
So Wesley, Louis, and Theodore Boutin.
They were all brothers, yeah.
Theodore Boutin, that's Gilmore Young's grandfather.
Yeah. Well, they used to have a place on Oak Island Sandpoint. That's where they fished from years ago. You know, you had a dock and everything there. When they used to fish ponnets and everything from there on Oak Island Sandpoint.
Okay. So Theodore Boutin, I know Theodore Boutin, if I read right, was at South Twin also.
Yeah.
Right around 1910.
Yeah.
Part of that Booth Fisheries operation out there.
Yeah.
He had a place out there too, so Theodore was not only at Oak Island, he was also at Willie's too years ago.
Yeah. Well, the same way as us, we started out when we first started fishing from Manitou Island. John Hanson, old Diddle, I don't know if you remember back that story.
I know the name.
They were the ones that never was found. They left that time. The Ottawa Cones, they stopped at Ottawa Cones and they had a little open boat and they were both drinking. So Ottawa chased them out of there. So they were going to Manitou. They never, whatever happened, never found a ride of that boat after that. They don't know what happened.
Did you? I know that you wound up at Quarry Bay
Yeah.
a little bit later in time. But your dad Ulrich, was he fishing at Manitou also?
Oh yes, yeah.
So
we put 5 years there.
When you were a kid, were you at Manitou
Yes,
then?
yeah. And then we moved to Quarry Bay in Stockton. Yeah. We put 18 years in Stockton Island in Quarry Bay.
18.
Yeah.
And 5 years at Manitou.
Yeah.
Was Ulrich then fishing just out of Bayfield primarily
Well,
before then, or?
after we quit at Stockton, see, Wisconsin University had that. And we always wanted to buy a piece of that, but they would never sell to us.
Okay.
So when they turned it over, they wouldn't give us a lease anymore. So we had to start fishing from town. That's how we had to leave Stockton Island.
Morris, on Manitou, did you have a fish camp?
Well, yes.
What was that like?
Well, it was a dock and a shed and something like you see in that picture there.
Uh-huh.
About the same thing.
Was that on the south end there where Governor's
Well,
place is?
that's the place right there, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
were you guys the original builders of that, or was that
that
Spurs
was
Logging, or?
That was John Hanson, old Gus Plood.
Okay,
My dad told me about. Now I don't remember that. He was telling about him. I got to tell you a story about him. He had a dog. I can't think of it. What the heck did you used to call him? John Tush or something like that. You know, different. Well, anyway, my dad was telling about, instead
John
of
Plood.
yeah, instead of hooking the dog up, he'd go bobbing. He'd put the dog in the sleigh and cover him up. He'd pull him out to where he's bobbing. And my dad said, you know how a dog is? You'd be on the end of the dock and he was barking and stuff when he'd see John Tush coming with the boat. He said, "Don't cry, John Tush." He said, "Your father's coming."
That's Plood, eh?
Yeah, old Gus Plood.
Or Gus, yeah, okay. So Plood would have been there, if you were born in 1919 and
1921.
1921, I'll get that straight one of these days. You're probably out there when you're 6, 7, 8, 10 years old?
No.
A little bit later.
Yeah, I was there, no, I must have been about 14, 15 when I was there, yeah.
Okay, so that would put us up to about 1934,
Yeah.
35,
Yeah.
you were out there. And then if you were there 5 years, that means you probably got to Presqu'île in about 1939 or 40.
Something 40, yeah.
Yeah. What was it like at Quarry Bay when you first got there?
Well, there was nothing there. We had to build our own cabin. We had all we had to start with. We just had a cabin on the beach here, and then we built the dock. We took us 2 years to build the dock so we could get in to use it, and then we finally built a cabin, built that out of logs. We had a cabin on Hermit Island where we used to stay in the wintertime fishing there. So we took that from Hermit Island over to Quarry Bay and put it up there. So that was our cabin for them.
Okay. So there's 2 cabins. How many cribs in the dock were there? Is it the same as the one now?
One,
Or?
2, 3, 4. We had 5 then.
And it took you 2 years to build it.
Oh yeah.
That's where you were at with the Vera B then?
That's
to
what he's
begin
at the
with?
Veerby. I should have got that picture down. There's a picture of her right at that dock.
Yeah, that'd be a nice one to have. Okay. So now you're there. You're in the pondnet. Were you in the pondnet fishery then, or were you
No,
gillet
we started,
fisherman?
well, it was a few years after we started the pondets. We
So-
started right away. We just fished gillnets.
Okay.
Then we decided. My dad, you see, my grandfather, Eddie Boutin, fished pondets for years. And after he died, I don't know whatever happened to him. But my dad, we never had any eye on him. So I remember that we got the first 2, and we set one on Ironwood and one on Ironwood, one on Cat Island.
I read in the Bayfield Progress where it said Ulrich Boutin was, one of those little captions like that said, Ulrich Boutin didn't apply for a liquor license that year. He must have been a bartender in Bayfield to begin with, and he said he's going to spend all his time commercial fishing now. So I'm thinking right around 1915 is when your dad really got into the fishing business, as the Bayfield Progress stated. So you've been pondnet fishing, just gillnet fishing up that time. Did you fish Siskowets outside of the islands?
Oh yes, yeah.
Give me a couple of ranges out there, Morris.
Gull Island and Anderson's Point and mine.
Yeah.
I never forget that range.
Yeah,
I,
Gull
I
Island.
think he was with me on that
Oh,
range.
sure. That was one of your old.
On the southeast bank, we used to call it, yeah.
Yeah. And that would be like a 2-hour run outside of there.
2 hour run, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Is
I gotta tell you a story before we finish about old Carl Ludwigson. He was on Anderson's Point. Him and John Nelson, they was together there.
Yeah.
Before John moved around in Julian's Bay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Wally Young was working for him, for old Carl. Wally looked up at the sky like that in the morning. You see the little wind clouds. He said, "Never mind, Wally." He said, "We ain't going up there. We're going on a lake."
Wally Young, that was an old friend of yours,
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
What's the biggest lift of, would you have like 10-box gangs, 6-box gangs? When did you guys fish in the
Well,
old days out
I would
there?
say in the spring, like maybe the first lift, we maybe get 800-900 pounds, but then it kept tapering off, getting less every lift,
Yeah. How many gangs did you have out there?
75 boxes,
75 boxes in the spring of the year.
15-box gangs.
515
And
boxes.
Julian, they had the same thing. We had more. I think he had 6 gangs. He had to lift 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Morris, explain that. What is a gang?
Well, that's a string of nets. It's all, there are 1,000 feet to the box, what we call a box of nets. So that'd be 15,000 feet in that string.
That's 3 miles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And would you set all of them at the same time, or?
No, we split them up in shorter gangs.
Yeah.
See, like out in the depot, we used to call it, we used to fish 3-box gangs. Because the bank was so steep, that's all you could set.
Huh.
Well, we're just doing this for the people that'll hear this later on, Morris, but what depth, and I know the answers to this obviously, but what depths did you start fishing fats in them days?
Well, we used to start in about 65 and go out to about 80, 85.
85 fat,
Yeah, yeah.
in 3 miles there
Yeah,
roughly,
yeah,
so.
yeah.
You fish,
And what were you fishing for then in those days?
That was Siskowitz.
And what are Siskowitz?
Well, they're a fat trout here in the league. That's all they're good for, smoking or if you salt them and cure them or something. They're no good to eat fresh. And the lake right now is getting worse and worse, full of them.
so you're fishing fats out there, spring of the year. Come May, were you fishing in the islands a little then, or?
Well, you see what we used to do, the same as what you're doing. We used to fish out there in the spring, and then as towards summer months, we'd move in around the banks. Then we used to fish trout and whitefish on the banks.
When you say the banks, you're talking 25 fathom?
Say from 10 to 25, 30, something. We used to start with about 10 fathoms. Because
Okay.
as the water get warmer, we used to move in a little shallower. As the fish moved in, we fish in shallower water.
Okay.
Morris, how deep is a fathom?
That's 6 feet.
6 feet?
Yes.
So you're talking then about start at 60 feet
Yeah.
of water and down? Okay.
And that would be like in the middle of May,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
And then after, like I was saying, after when we went into the ponds, well, we didn't fish any gills in the summer at all. It was
Yeah.
all ponds.
Yeah.
I'll
So
never forget them ponded days. That was the hardest work I ever worked in my life.
when you work with your dad, I know what the pondits yourself there, but tell me about your dad and fishing pondits off of Presqu'île there. Did you have the vats out there with tar and stuff? And
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We used to tar.
Morris, explain the pond net process. Why is it so hard?
Well, I mean, it's hard. We have had, call them stakes. We'd call them like for explain to you, it's like a piling. There was 7 of them, and we used to call that. It was in a square like that, and you had to drive them into the ground so they'd stay, so they wouldn't tip over. Well, in them days we had a pile driver and had a big hammer that'd go up and down, drive the piling. But we used to pull that by hand. 3/4 inch rope on it and everything. And I could hear my dad yet, give her one more for a good measure. And I couldn't hardly close my hand like this from pulling that rope, Oh, that was hard work.
So this was in shallow water then?
Yeah, it was 30 feet. That was the deepest net, 30 feet. In them days.
and when the first years that you were fishing with your dad,
Yeah.
then you got quite a bit deeper. I remember you
Oh,
having
yeah.
65.
65.
Tell people a little bit about what you had and how you spliced those stakes together.
Oh, yeah.
Morris.
Well, we saw them. It's hard to explain. You laid a stick like this on the ground, and you'd saw it up on a slant like that, and another one the same way, so the splices would go together. Then we'd take and we'd bolt them. There was 5 bolts that held them together.
And you'd make them up
Well,
to
whatever
90,
length we went, like if it's 65, but you'd have to have them 75 feet,
yeah, at least 10 feet deeper in the
10
water.
feet, yeah.
The tell us a little bit about setting them, Morris. There's a lot of work that goes before you finally catch that first fish and dress it.
Oh, yeah.
You got to make the pots. Did you guys make your own pots?
Well, later on when I got older, I learned how to do it myself. But to start with, we all said they were made out of Chicago. They had a twine company there. They'd make them up here and they'd send them up here. But after we got them, I looked them over and I started figuring out. So I then finally could make them myself.
Is that where you learned to mend too, or did
Yeah.
Dad teach you how to mend?
Yeah. Hey, that's another thing. I wish I had the first net I learned. My dad gave me an old net, and that had more mistakes than you could believe. And finally, my dad said, that's the only way you're going to learn. You got to do it yourself. And finally, all at once, it just come to me.
If you watch Morris Boutin mend a net, he's like a sewing machine out there. But you get an average guy on there,
Yeah.
they're lost.
Well, that's lost these days. Nobody does it anymore. Yeah, the only one I know right now is Craig.
Yeah,
Up here.
yeah,
The rest of the hired men, they don't want to learn that.
no.
So
Morris,
that-
in those days, what were the nets made out of?
Cotton and nylon. Now it's monofilament.
Yeah,
The gill nets.
Yeah.
yeah.
When you tell us a little bit about the pile driver, Morris. How you built that?
Well, that was built out of cedar logs.
Yeah.
I think there were 6 or 7 wide. They were cool. They're great big cedar logs. Then we had cross pieces on them.
You get them on the islands.
Get them on the island. And we drift them together so they wouldn't come apart. Then we plank it over, and then there was uprights, we call them. They're 2x8s fir, and they were 30 feet.
Yeah.
Up there. Then there was a hammer that run in that up and down like that.
Yeah, at the top of those uprights, you had a pulley system.
There was a pulley with a rope going through, yeah.
And that's what got your hands.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So how long would you say that a particular pile driver was?
Well, here, we just cut it up here about 5 years ago. It was down the dock there, by my dock. We had it pulled out there.
30 feet long?
Yeah. Why we used it, because when we built Bay Fisheries, it was nice to work on, put it in the slip there, see, because it was low. That's what we didn't find it when we got the dock built, well, we cut it up there.
Okay. So it was about 30 feet long, 15, 20 feet wide.
About 15 feet wide.
Yeah, and you'd have to position that particular pile driver with every pile that you put in, or every
Well,
stick we call
we
it.
had anchored, we anchored that driver, see, one anchor on each side, one in the front, one this way. So whenever you'd move, tighten the anchors. When you get there, and you just tighten the anchors so the driver couldn't move either way, see. Stay right in that one position.
So now you've got the stick set in the water. You got a framing pole on the 4 inside ones. Everything's bolted up. What's the next step? You got a load of twine, and then it was the.
Well, we used to call it the pot. The pot is one that where, I don't know, it's hard to explain that one to them. But the lead, we used to run the lead. It's all different lengths. Some of them we had 600 feet, some of them 800 feet. It depends on where we put the net.
Sure. With a set of hearts.
With a set of hearts.
Okay, what's a lead, Morris?
A lead that's the thing where the fish follow on, and it goes into this net.
It's like a tunnel.
No, it's just like a wall, for example. And the fish follow that out to where the hearts is.
It's a webbed wall.
The webbed wall.
And what are the hearts?
The hearts is, that's where the fish, I don't know, we should maybe draw up a diagram. The hearts is kind of a V-shaped deal. When they go in there, like see here, right here, it turns like that. So when the fish go in there, they follow it right back up to the pot, we call a pot, and there's a hole in that pot where they go into. And as they go in, the twine is smaller inside. And the hole is right in the middle of this pot. So the fish just go around there and they never find that hole to go back out. So when you come to lift that net, you drop that hole, and so it closes up so the fish can't go back out. Then you pull it up and the fish is all alive in there. Yeah, to explain that more, it'd be a diagram.
It's a little complicated.
Yeah.
And then how do you get the fish in the boat?
You scoop them out. Put them in
So-
boxes.
So they're just swimming around
All alive, yeah.
inside this net.
Yeah.
Well, one of the first things you
Well,
did.
Jeff should have showed you the picture here. I don't know if he's got it on his computer or not. He was with us this summer, but what you're talking about, all the fish are all alive in that trap nest when they come up here.
Sure. When you went to lift the net, what's the first thing you did, Morris?
Well, first thing we did, we called it downhauls. They pulled the net down, tied it up. We unskeined all them lines in the lake so there was slack so we could pull the net up. Then one guy on each side pulled the net up like that. And you pull it over the boat, and as you pulled over, as you worked out toward the end of the net, you'd throw that twine in till you got out to where the fish were, and then they'd be all in the kind of a pocket there.
So there's like 4 downhauls.
Yeah.
One on each corner,
One on each
inside, outside. One on the king stick too.
One on the
so-
king stick, that's the one that opens the tunnel.
Yeah. So you let those go. They drop into the water. Then you go inside the pot. And I remember having to pull them rings up. Remember how they used to get sometimes screwed up?
Yeah.
And that would shut the whole thing off. And then the net was freely floating
Yeah.
in current.
Oh, yeah.
That
But
was
sometimes we couldn't lift if the current was too bad. We'd leave it alone
There was a
till
bunch of.
the current went down, yeah.
Okay. So you're inside the net, and then you just said all the downhauls are free. You've pulled up the rings that are on the between the 2 main sticks in the center there, and you're ready to lift. And you start by pulling the corners up, if I remember right. Remember you pull them corners up. I'm just like I'm back in the boat now.
Well, you've done it with me, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd pull those corners up, and then all of a sudden you'd have the corners up, and now you could see the fish starting to move towards the outside of the pot. And you get them up, and of course there'd always be a few gilled a little bit, but for the most part they're all alive and swimming. How many of them ponds did you own in your
10.
life?
10, that was the limit anyway. We couldn't fish anymore than that.
10.
That law's been existed for years.
So
It's right there, same thing right today with cottonwoods.
yeah. So there's 10 nets at all times going, and ton a day, Morris, or
Oh, yeah, it depends on some days, yeah.
some days,
Yeah.
some days
I
less.
can remember one time we had a net on South Twin. In them years, we had just a gas boat. We had to go over, lift that bonnet with a pond boat, And we damn near sucker. We had over a ton on one net on Willie's Island.
I remember at Michigan Island, boy, you get a few there the first few lifts too.
Yeah.
Where did you have your pond net set in them days, Morris?
Well, there was Michigan Island, there was Anderson's Point, there was Cat Island, Ironwood Island, Rice's Island, South Twin. We had net on South Twin, out on the edge of that bar. We had them scattered all over.
Yeah. I know were you along Oak Island ever in that area?
Not too much.
Yeah.
We
I know
we tried nets, but we couldn't get any fish there.
Yeah. I remember the south end of Bass.
Yeah.
No.
There was a good net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always steady.
Yeah.
Madeline Island.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But the marine over here, yeah.
And then I remember two nets you had up there in front of the old saloon there. Emil
Erickson's?
Emil Erickson's,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Trying to think now where the heck.
Morris, I've always wondered, how does each fisherman claim his spot?
Well, in them
Set the
days, you
nets.
didn't. There's a law now that you gotta be a half a mile from each other, but in them days, the first one there got their spot.
Uh,
That was a problem. That happened years ago, when somebody come along. Oh, I gotta tell you about old Peter Boutin. He had one net, an old Otto Kuntz come along. He had caught fish there a year before, and the first one there in the spring would get that spot. So old Otto Kuntz come and put a net on each side of him. And old Teeter said, he always said, whoo, I got lots more. So he drove another one. My dad said there were 6 nets in a row. He said, I don't think they even got a fish all summer.
Theodore.
Yeah.
So let's go back a little bit now. We kind of explained how the pond net fishery goes there, and a little bit of the gill nets. But you're a pretty young kid. You're born in 21, and did you go to a grade school at the parochial school for?
Bayfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go to 8th grade there?
Yeah.
So you got out of 8th grade, and then you probably started fishing full time.
Yeah, full time, yeah.
That's what people did in those days. You
Yeah.
either went in the army or they
Yeah.
worked like that. So. Remember any of the sisters that were at the Catholic school? Tell me about your life at the Catholic school and Philip Thornton. And
Oh, yeah, there's one. I don't know if I put that on the tape or not.
I think it's pretty good.
Oh, it's right. He couldn't learn him nothing. And even the first, second, and third grade, well, when we moved out of there, and the goddamn bench got so big, he was that great big kid with the little kids in there. We used to tease him, Oh, holy God, after school he'd want to fight. Holy God. And in the convent down there, that's when they had that convent with all them young girls down there. Well, they'd get this hard maple, and that's all they burnt was wood. That's when they put them splitting wood. Couldn't learn them nothing in school, so they put them splitting wood. Holy God, we'd laugh.
Yeah. Didn't he pass some gas in class or something like that too?
You know-
Tell that story. That's funny.
No, the kids were kind of bound up in school, so the sister come along, and she said, did your balls move? But he says, no, but I can move them.
Get a ball moving, no?
And she hit him, I never hit him right across the goddamn knuckles with his ruler.
Yeah, he was farting to beat heck in class there.
Yeah. Well, what he did? He take them ink wells, he'd chew in school, dump the ink out and use it for a spittoon. Oh, he was a terrible
Was he
kid.
chewing snuff in school?
Yeah. Oh, God.
I thought those Catholic nuns
You know
were
what?
pretty tough.
I often wonder whatever happened to him. I find out he went in the service and he went AWOL. And that's, I don't know how long they locked him up. I never heard anything after about it.
Who was the Thornton family anyway? What were they doing in town? Do you remember his parents at all, or?
Well, Horton, that old man Horton, he worked for Booth down there for many years.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, his family. Well, a lot of them, Booth at them days had employed quite a few people down there.
Yeah, oh, big time.
Yeah.
All the Grants and
Yeah, Grants,
Gordons.
yeah.
And,
I can tell you one about George Grant. Down there in herring season, I don't know how many men they'd have for herring season, so they make sure you'd have a crew when the herring come. So I met him one day, he was carrying a pipe wrench. I said, where you going, George? He says, I don't know, I've been carrying this for 2 days.
you had a brother named Fred Grant. I got a nice photo of Fred weighing fish with old Fred Gordon down there. That had to be a little bit later, but
yeah.
I can still see the inside of that whole building there. How many years did you fish for Booth?
Holy boys, I don't know, many, many years. Well, then, when Bedeen bought them out, we didn't have any choice. And, Roger said, he you can come down here, you can move over with me. Well, in the meantime, Fred Harry's owned where we got now. So then we dickered with him, we bought that, and Boutin was mad. That's worse, right next door to him, see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the property that you own now. That was Fred LaPointe's property.
Ernie and Pitt,
Ernie and Pitt.
yeah.
Ernie and Pitt. Okay.
And then Fred Harry's, I don't know how he got a hold of it in some ways.
What year did you buy that, Morris?
Holy boys.
Early 60s.
Yeah, I was there, yeah.
And you had a partner in those days?
Soren Peterson.
Yeah.
We went into Soren Peterson. Then when he retired, I bought him out.
What year did you buy him out then, Morris?
I think it was 84.
1984. So you guys are partners for a long time.
Long time.
You had a great guy that worked down there. Tell us a little bit about Gayhard Charlo.
God,
We can't forget Gayhard in this
no.
conversation.
I'll tell you, there's a guy who'd do anything.
Yeah.
Hans beer, I always used to tease him. I said, there's a headache in every can. That was his favorite.
Yeah.
And the trouble is with him, when we built that dock, I wish I had a camera that day. We had brought down some great big rocks. We had to roll them with bars, to get him in there. Well, he'd go uptown and he'd drink his lunch, he'd be half drunk and he'd come back down. So he put that bar under that rock and he missed the bar and he went head first in the slip. Yeah.
Gayhard, I'll never forget him. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
He'd
Yeah.
drink that Hans beer and
Well, you always remember, you might say.
yeah.
So they used to come here with Junior owned this place and they play cards here, And they broke him that. You might say they teased him so much. Then Art Grant says, I don't know. And then he said, I don't know what was worse. We should have left him say, we might see.
I remember him really well. I was a pallbearer in his mother's funeral
yeah.
there. He's a good guy.
Hard worker.
Yeah. He came out of the Civilian Conservation Corps, and then he must have started, did he work in the woods, or was he always, do you remember what Gayhard did earlier?
Well, he had that little farm out there,
Yeah,
He worked with that for years and years.
the old Charlo farm in the town of Russell.
Yeah.
His mom lived there,
Yeah.
and I think the Carriers owned that
Oh, yeah,
property.
they own that now, yeah.
But, well, I remember him down at the shed. He weighed many tons of fish.
Oh, yeah. And I don't care, he was a guy that never kicked whatever you give him to do.
Yeah.
Always,
He never ran to get anything done.
No.
But he was just steady.
yeah.
And I mean, he'd be there every day.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best employees you ever had.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, just one of the best.
Yeah.
So you got Gayhard there, and then I know that your wife Eleanor was a hard worker down there too, and
Oh,
she
yeah.
spent you kind of like you sold out to Boutin, or you bought out Sorn,
Yeah.
and then yourself and Eleanor kind of you did the fishing end, and
She runs the store.
she ran the store.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your wife Eleanor and stuff like that. She's a very important. That it's probably hard to talk a little
Well,
bit about it, but
She was from Ashen.
Yeah.
Matson's she was born and raised right back on Dostigan there.
yeah.
That's where her parents were doing. She was raised on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
And then she used to work over here in Madeline Island for Willis's, on Madeline Island for the tourists. That's how I happened to meet her to
Oh.
start with.
Okay.
She was at the summertime. She'd go over in the summertime, and in the winter, she'd go down to the Twin Cities and work for them there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What year did you meet her? What year did you get married?
1944.
You got married in 44. So you probably met her a few days earlier.
Oh, yeah. We went together for a long time. Everybody teased me, when are you going to get married?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you would have you'd have been about 23, 24 years old when you got married.
Yeah.
So I remember her real well. She was kind of a stickler. She was a hard worker.
Yeah.
You started out up front there. I remember when you had the ice in the building
Yeah.
there. Then all of a sudden you decided. Tell us a little bit about. Let's go back up a second here. Let's go back to the days.
Could we take this
Yep.
stuff?
That Eleanor Boutin was quite a lady. So you married her, and I'd like to know a little bit more, Morris, about your wedding day.
Yeah, I'll have it. I know.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Oh, while you're here, you can edit too. I'd like to know a little bit more about your wedding day, like who your best man was.
My best man was Wally Jelnick. In fact, you must have heard of him. He was another native of Bayfield here. Lived here for years.
Yep.
Him and his wife, so he was my best man, yeah.
Who stood up for Eleanor then?
Her brother, Gunnar.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
He had a great big brother, yeah.
So who was all at the wedding? Was it that Holy Family up here, or did you have to go to Ashland? Or
Well, no, we had when I bought this house where I live right now, we cleaned the whole basement out before this, see?
Okay.
And that's where we opened up the basement.
Okay.
And I'll never forget that. We had a barrel of beer down. John, I don't know if you heard of Big Johnny Bazell.
Oh, yeah.
He used to be the beer. Well, anyway, they had glasses down there, and there were so many people down there. He went upstairs and he borrowed a kettle from Eleanor. I'll never forget that. He filled it up with beer and he went in the corner. Now he said, I got enough for a while.
John.
Yeah. Oh, God, he could drink.
Yeah. Was your dad still living then?
No.
What year did Ulrich pass away?
1944.
1944.
Yeah.
Just before you got married?
No, I got married after.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's when he passed, was in
Yeah.
44 then. I heard some fun stories about Ulrich. You got any fun stories about your dad?
Oh, yeah, I got one. He was over here to the Morty's bar, that blind pig in them days, you know. And he fell asleep at the bar, and he had that bald head, this little strip around here. So some woman is there, they painted a picture of jigs on his head. You know. When he woke up, when he come to, and everybody started laughing at him. He couldn't figure out what they were laughing at, you know, until he finally found out.
Yeah. I heard that Ulrich liked a pretty good time in his
Oh, yeah.
life. He was a very, very congenial,
Yeah.
nice guy.
Yeah.
Had a
Good-
lot of friends.
Good natured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your brother Allison. What do you remember about Al?
Oh, God. Well, he was fished all his life, too. Just like Manny, my whole family.
Mm-hmm.
And he had his own boat, fished for himself.
What were the names of his boats?
I can't think of the name of that one. Well, he had down here.
The Old Glory for a while.
Yeah, but before that, he had that little one. What the heck was it? The one that Butts has got now.
The Bobby?
Bobby.
Okay.
They had that first, yeah.
So that was his first boat.
First boat, yeah.
And then it was the Old Glory.
Yeah, Old Glory.
Where did the Old Glory? Who built that?
Joe LaBelle's. They had a right across, you know, where the museum is now from either.
Yeah.
That's where they had a great big building. That's where she was built. Joe LaBelle's built that there.
In that Joel Bell's building that was there, was that originally Sally Batan's property?
Years back, yeah.
Do you remember where you used to have your pond nets in that
Yeah.
that old shed there?
Yeah, that's over there, yeah.
Would that have been the last of Sally Batan's property there?
And it was comical, you know, when they dug up that street here a couple of years ago down by me. Well, you know, when Solly had that big fire there, and he burnt out. Well, they must have dumped everything right in the road. And when they dug that up, here comes that old lumber, all burnt yet. So they hollered at me. They said, "You remember this?" And I said, "I don't remember, but I heard about it." And here they just buried that old lumber. They dug it up.
What year would have Solly's building burned?
Hey,
Approximately.
I couldn't even tell you.
That was when you were a little kid?
Yeah,
So it's, you know,
I don't remember what year that was.
okay, that's no biggie, but
Yeah.
I know it was in one of them years. So Ellison now, he's got the Old Glory, and then I know that he bought the Mermaid from my dad
Yeah.
in about 1962.
Yeah,
And then Ellison, was he partners or did he buy it? Was he involved in the Ellison B purchase, or did the Ronnie and?
Well, that was after they fished with him. You know, the boys fished with their dad.
Because I remember when I was fishing with you there, Ellison was on the boat.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he had any partnership in it or
Yeah.
not then, so. Yeah, okay. Then there's the brother Manny.
Manny.
Tell us a little bit about Manny.
Well, he fished too all of his life. That's what he's the one that built the Old Glory to start with, you know.
Oh, Manny built the Old Glory.
Manny built the Old Glory, yeah.
He built it himself?
Well, Joel LaBelle did, but I mean, he
Okay.
was the owner.
Okay, he had it built.
He had it built.
What did that have in it for a power?
Yeah, 2-cylinder Cullenberg.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
About 150 horse?
no, it was only 45. And then the next one he put in the 3-cylinder was a 75.
Okay.
But I always used to tease Elvis Morris. What Morris, he said, the horses are all there on old Cullenberg. You know, a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, you're an old Collenberg man.
Yeah.
I don't think between you, Bud Badine, and Jimmy Frostman, there isn't anybody who knows more about a Collenberg than you guys.
I like that engine. Boy,
It's dependable.
yeah.
But well, anyway, so Manny fished the Old Glory. How many years did he fish?
Manny, holy boys. Well, he was down in Michigan for years too.
He fished up down there.
Yeah, and then he moved to Bayfield. That's when he had the Old Glory built.
What year did he come to Bayfield?
Oh, God. It was in the 60s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Manny was married to a teacher at school.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about her.
I know.
I know.
Yeah, yeah. She was actually, her parents were from Finland. And I gotta tell you a story about her. Nanny took her out to the island to cook for us guys, you know, because she said, well, she come out, as long as I'm out here, I'll cook for all of you. So anyway, we had talking about these punnets, you know, well, we used to sharpen like a point on and all them chips, you know. She'd come down from the cabin with a cardboard box and she'd pick all them up and take them up. And here she had piles of wood right out in front. But she always told us she's American people waste too much.
Oh.
And then if there was a little dish of corn, a little dish of tomatoes left, you know, she wouldn't throw that out. And Alec Roy was working with me. He says, I'm not eating that. Finally, when she got enough, but she'd make something out of it, we'd finally eat it. He'd always remember that. She got us anyway, he'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had old world ways then.
Yeah, well, yeah.
She just died recently at
Yeah.
about
101.
101 years old.
Yeah,
And that's just been within the last 2 years.
yeah, yeah.
She was quite a gal, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Good
She
teacher.
was a school teacher.
Yeah, by trade.
Oh, she used to make me mad. You know, she would always have it, if you wouldn't pronounce a word right, you know, now Morris ain't right, and she'd catch me, I don't know how many times a day. And pretty quick I would.
Your sister-in-law was an English teacher.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
She'd kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So Manny and you guys used to have pretty good times around town, I understand. Tell us a little bit about some of those baseball games over at Madeline Island. Did you ever go over there to any of them?
Well, I was, my brother.
Alice and Boutin.
Ollie come back with his shirt collar one time. He got in a fight over there.
Yeah.
Lee Russell would play in first base,
Yeah.
and you know, they'd tease him, you know. And he couldn't hold his temper.
Lee.
He'd throw his glove right off during the game and take right off for somebody, and then they'd start fighting.
I love this story.
And then it was comical. He'd cool down. He had that tavern down there.
Yeah.
He'd buy him all the drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them about when they brought that little snake and put it in. Do you remember that story he used to tell about? They come out of one of them fights at the game and they cool down, and then all of a sudden they go down to the beach club there, and I think it was, I don't know if it was Allison or Wally or somebody, took that little garter snake and put it in Lee Russell's wife's drink. Remember that story?
I don't know how that goes now. Yeah.
Well, anyway, that started the fight right over again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, and the following weekend, if there was a game, they'd all go again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go to a lot of them games, Morris?
Not too many. Once in a while, I go.
Yeah. Do you remember them playing ball in the Ravine Park up
Oh
here?
yes, yes.
Tell us, who was on those
That's why I played hardball for the Bayfield team there. That's
Did you-
why I broke my ankle.
Did you play for those guys?
Wayne Jonas, he slid into me in second base and snapped my ankle right off.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
What was the name of the Bayfield team?
They just call it Bayfield team.
Bayfield City team.
Yes. City
Bayfield City
team.
team.
Didn't
Yeah.
have a name. Huh?
Yeah.
Who was on that team? There's you and Wayne Jonas and
Wayne Jonas and holy crap, there's a lot of them. Irby D, remember him?
yep.
Oh, Irby D, yeah.
He was getting pretty old by then.
Yeah, yeah. He used to be catching.
Yeah.
He was a good catcher too. Yeah.
Was Andy Pulaski on it yet?
Andy Pulaski, yeah.
Did Tatsi Gadat play for you?
Yeah, he was another one, yeah.
What was your position?
I played second base.
Huh.
Yeah.
What teams did you guys play in those days?
Oh, Washburn, mostly. Well, there was something Washburn Bayfield. They were just as bad as Madeline. They never. I don't know why it is. When it comes to sports, they didn't like each other.
Yeah.
Boys, oh boys.
So the Ravine Park was the was home plate by the Apple Shed.
Yeah, that's
below?
it. Yeah. Well, I got to tell you about. It was a colored traveling team, colored line. So they come. I don't know if you heard about that story. They played up in this ravine up here, and you know, way up on that high bank, that left fielder, you sitting up there, you know, sitting there, you know, and there was a fly ball hit to him, and it was what made it good. He didn't move. He stuck his glove in the back of the ball. They went duck soup. He howled. He threw it. I'll never forget that. He threw it in.
Good ball.
Oh,
player.
them guys. They take a bat and bunt the ball on end like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's how good they were.
Oh, crap.
Did you guys ever play the House of David? I heard that they were here at one time too.
Well, I got to tell you a story about years after that we played in a softball team here and we in the league with two-pot and all of them, you know. So they made up a team. So we went down to Sandstone, that prison. Well, that was a good education right there. Well, we walked in, you know, and the first thing you go in the first door, they said, turn your pockets all around, said everything you had. You didn't take nothing. And the big steel doors would slam behind you, holy God, give you and everybody had hands on their back like that. So they took a count when you'd go in, see. So you make sure you're not coming up. I'll never forget Tommy Remus was on the back It was the last one. He dug into my back. We was going out. He says, "I'm not getting left in here." Holy boys! And them guys there, you talk about play ball. All colored guys. And I said, one guard sat on the bench with us, you know. And I said, boy, they're good. What he said they should be. That's their exercise. They do it every day. Boy, they can play.
They never got a chance to come to Bayfield to return a game
No.
either, I bet.
So anyway, we ate with the officers were. Holy boys. And the cook was a lifer. And it was comical. Boy, there was good food and everything, you know. Well, he says, boys, he said, if you come back next year, I'll be here yet. Yeah. But that was an education just going that, whoa. They showed us way up above where the lifers were, you know, they never got out for that, for sports or anything. But they showed us where they were.
Your first tour of a prison that day.
Oh, yeah.
The last
And they
one.
had them revolving towers there with guards up in the door. Oh. And the comical was they had a radio on there advertising Ham's beer. I'll never forget that in the prison.
Tell us a little bit about Booth Fisheries. Morris, you fished many years down there for them guys. Tell us a little bit about Wallstead and the bull gangs that you remember down there. And you know, I know you had the Egerson there. I know your first boat was a Vera B,
Yeah.
and then I think,
Egerson and the Bonner brothers, I bought that. The Bonner brothers bought that from Cornucopia.
who'd you buy the Egerson from?
That was Booth. It used to be Carl Doll's.
Okay,
That's the one that Mary's got down there. She wants to have it restored.
yeah.
Because that's the one that Carl Doll used to haul our freight back from San Elm to San B.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Who built the Egerson, do you remember?
Gee, I don't know.
Was that Christensen?
Originally, old Carl Ludwigson, the guy I was just talking about out on Startup. I don't know who built that for him, but that was his boat.
Yeah, so it went from Carl Ludwigson
To Carl Doll,
to Carl Dahl.
then I bought it.
Then you bought it.
Yeah.
Then you bought the Ivano brothers after
I
that,
bought it after that.
and that came from Billy Ivano.
Billy Bono, yeah.
Yeah, from Cornucopia.
Yeah.
And then you went big time. You had those two boats. Did you sell them, and then you bought the Gene Moore?
Yeah.
What year did you pick up the Gene Moore?
Holy boys.
Early '60s, I know that.
Yeah. Must have been in there, yeah. I don't know just exactly what year.
I got some photos at home. You can find a cute picture of your daughter picking fish there.
Yeah.
So and so it looks like it's about they're still in high school, and I know she got out of high school in '63. So I figured you probably
I'll never forget her. The first fall I bought her, I got 140 ton of herring and so.
Which one are you talking about?
The Vera B, Gene Moore.
Oh yeah, okay.
140 ton that first fall.
140 ton.
Yeah. And I'll
What-
never forget that. I just go home in the morning, get my lunch pail, no sleep, and in 2 days I never went to bed. Finally, putting your fell to sleep, standing up. You know, pick herring all night, and then if we had any nets left, we'd pull them in the shed down the booze. And if Nancy was here, she'd pick herring for me. Then they'd pick all them out, so we'd have nets for the next day to set again.
Yeah. Well, you had to really coordinate that.
Oh, God.
Who all was in you know, like I know who all was on the first boat with you there?
Well, there was Richard, Erickson, Nancy's husband. Deanie, I'll never forget, I can tell you a story about him too.
We'll get to Dean in a minute.
He went down to South Shore Farm and he got sick, seasick. So he climbed up in the pilot house. Remember I had that great big bunk in there?
Yeah.
The Oilers and Steve's on, he's in there. So he, all day long. So he turned around and slipped down here and I shook him. I said, come on, Deanie. I said, don't die on me. You ought to see what I wouldn't see on here when he told me that. Boy, he was mad. So anyway, Ed Erickson, the next day, they all had coffee up there in the morning. And Ed was teasing him. He said, what's the matter, Deanie? He said, your father-in-law don't get sick. He said he ain't got brains enough to get sick. He was mad.
Didn't you also have your son-in-law Harvey Hoopman on
Yeah,
there?
he never got sick too, yeah.
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 You worked those guys over pretty good. They were pretty weak by the time you got back to town.
Yeah.
Where'd you fish that year?
South Shore. All down South Shore.
South Shore would be
Down by Saxon.
Saxon Harbor. Okay. How deep did you set them herring nets to begin with?
Down there, that was pretty shallow, about 15 fathom and all.
Yeah.
Really surprised we went down there. I'll tell you who got me to go down there, to even buy the Gene Moore. Is old, Jimmy Erickson, can't think of his name. He was a fisherman too, fished for years.
Jimmy Erickson's.
No, God, I can't think of his name offhand now. What the heck was his name?
Well, we'll get back to that in a
Yeah.
minute. But anyway, you're down on the South Shore. Was Elvis on the boat then too? Because I see
Yeah,
Elvis's
yeah,
photo
yeah.
right behind you there.
He was engineer.
All right.
That was kind of nice because he, you know, we, like I said, we worked so many hours, you know. Well, when we come in, he'd go home and get some rest. But he'd come down in the morning and get the furnace going, get the engines going, so everything was ready to pull out.
What time would you leave in the morning?
We did 5 o'clock,
Time you get back? 2, 3 in the afternoon?
around 2 o'clock.
And then you'd have 6, 7 ton in the boat,
Yeah, up to 15 ton.
15 ton.
Yeah,
That's a lot of fish.
Yeah.
Get done picking fish at midnight,
Yeah.
1 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, all the time. Yeah,
Yeah. Grab your lunch, go home, grab your lunch pail, and go back the next day.
yeah.
How many days would you do that in a row?
Well, we done it for about 20 days down there, but we didn't stay up all the time. Like I couldn't, nobody could take it. You had to get some sleep.
Yeah. But in the, right around Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
that's when, when the big,
I never forget that Thanksgiving. All the guys would tell me, "I hope we don't get a big load of herring today because we want to get home." That's when we get the biggest load.
yeah, always.
Yeah,
What did you get a pound for herring in them days?
about 4 cents a pound,
How much would that be a ton? 80 bucks a ton?
80 bucks a ton. Yeah.
What are they getting a ton for a ton now, Morris?
No, we're getting 80 cents now.
80 cents a pound.
Round. Yeah.
Yeah. So $1,600 a ton
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Don't you wish you could go back at that again?
correct.
And they aren't even fishing bottom nets
No,
now,
no.
they're fishing top nets.
Well, after that cabin, them eggs.
Yeah.
This new guy come down the dock. Craig was telling me the other day. Smith Brothers from down in Michigan. I don't know if you heard. You must have heard of their name.
Yeah,
So he's up there with a truck, and he went up and he bought some from Squirrel up in Port Wing. He went up there and he was dressed in herring. So he bought his eggs. He gave him $12 a pound for them.
Is that right? For the eggs?
For the eggs.
And in a 5-gallon pail, that's probably, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 pounds in there, something like
Yeah.
that. 10 pounds, 12 pounds.
But see, the outfit we're selling to now, they're taking the first time they're taking them all around now this year. They got their own machine up there, do their own dressing. I don't know if they must figure they're going to save money. But that's nice. Like Craig said, I can fish twice as much.
Yeah.
When you get in, you're done.
Yeah.
Don't have all that dressing.
Now they got it made. The boat, the Gene Moore, you sold the Gene Moore
Yeah.
and left here. And tell us a little bit about the Gene Moore coming back to Bayfield.
Well, I went down to Chicago,
Yeah.
and Ewig was not Ewig, but I can't think of his name. Well, anybody, but he had lots of money. So anyway, something happened to him. I don't know. He quit fishing. So Craig heard about it. He's down there. He said, "I'm going to go down and take a look at it." When he come back, he went way down to Chicago to look at it. We got to have that boat back here, he said. So that's how we have to get it back here.
So it left as a Gene Moore B,
Yeah.
and then it came back, and Craig named the boat the Elner B after that. He changed the name
Yeah,
from
that's
the,
after my wife. Yeah.
yeah, from the 2 daughters.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your daughters. You've got 2 daughters. What years were they born, and who are they, Morris?
Well, Maureen, she's Dean Halverson's wife. She's up in Cornucopia. And she's another one. She was always on the lake with me. She was ever a little kid. She loved fishing. And
In her blood.
Yeah, and I get a kick out of her. When she finally went, she was a school teacher. She said to me, "Dad, I'm done fishing. That's enough." Well, after she got done teaching school, she's right back on the lake again. No, she's just right back in it again.
At about this period of time, Maureen's 2 years older than myself, so she's she's 62 now.
Yeah, that's what she is. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have an older daughter named
Jeanette, she's 65.
65.
Yeah. In fact, she's retiring this year.
Is she going to?
Yeah.
That's interesting to note because I work with her at the
Yeah,
school up
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So, and she grew up in that fishing industry
Oh
too.
yeah.
So.
But she never was like Maureen. She liked it down the dock, but on the lake she didn't care much for that. There are 2 different girls that comes at.
Yeah.
I never forget when they were small. My wife used to get so mad. They used to pick livers for me on the lake. How kids are, they take the liver and they stick their blood like that. She'd be all full of blood all over. She said, "What do? You're rolling the fish?"
Yeah.
What did Jeanette end up doing?
She works up here to school. She's baking up to school. She's been here for years.
Yeah. But she also works down in.
She worked for me in the summertime down the dock. Yeah.
Yeah. So who else is working with her at the dock for you now?
Just my granddaughter Lynn.
Yeah.
They run it. And well, listen now, she's 14. She's old enough now. She can run the store too now. She likes it.
She's good enough
So,
to do that.
Yeah. So it's only a whole family deal.
So are you still the head fillet man down there, or
Well,
are you are you letting the duties fall to other people, or what?
it's comical. I go down there now. Well, I bought machinery now for that's something. we used to do all by hand, and then finally I cut so much I couldn't do it by hand, so we bought a planing machine, a skinning machine, a head machine.
Mm-hmm.
And I says, I don't know why it is, you didn't buy it 20 years ago. You know, when you get so old you can't do stuff, then you buy a machine.
Yeah. Well, you get set in your ways, you know.
So
you
anyway,
gotta-
anyway, Lynn down there, she runs all that machinery and everything, she's good at it. When I go down, I'm gonna help, get out of here, go on, she said.
So that's the reason why you've now, you're holding your office here at Maggie's,
That's
where you're sitting.
yeah.
You've kind of delegating the responsibilities to other people.
Yeah.
And right now you're 89.
I got a kick out of Craig. I was down there, he had the boat all fixed up before he went and set nets now. He had it all cleaned up and stuff. So he said, come on, Gramps, he said, get up in the pilot house here. Oh, he's got that nice chair there. Gee, he said, that just fits you. He said, you better come and steer for me this fall. I said, yeah. But get out to sand down, you get a lot of fish, you have me down below picking.
Gonna fall for that one. Yeah. We used to have some fun days on it. When I worked for Morris from 1974 to about 1981.
Yeah.
And I remember the big sunbeam. Remember when we used to go set in the early spring?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You'd have the Gene Moore B up
Yeah.
at Port Wing.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that year we took that lick in Morris.
Oh yeah, with all that,
March 15th we
Yeah.
left or something.
we had set all them nets, then we got that northeaster.
Yeah.
It was full of dirt. I'll never forget that.
We're picking junk at Rocky Island at my dock at
Yeah.
Rocky there till we're blue in the face.
Yeah, stumps and sticks and, yeah, that was something too.
I remember Morris telling me one time when we sat between Bear Island and Rocky, he said, you know, Bob, he said, we got licked here many times. So we set the drying.
Yeah.
About 3 days later, we got licked again. Well, the 18th, we set March 15th, we got licked again.
I'll never forget the time. No, Craig was a little boy. He was with us at one time. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
He never seen that. You know, all at once that by Bear Island, all over going to one of the great big birch trees comes up. He always talks about that yet. He said, Gramps, that's one thing I'll remember. I'll never set another net there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Famous last words.
Holy God.
God, it was horrible there. Remember the year the Fitzgerald went down? I was with you, and we set them herring nets. Tell a little bit about that. Do you remember much about the day the Fitz went down? I remember that you and I and Dean were at the north end of Outer that day.
That's the
setting
day. That's the day when we got them nets. You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was something. Yeah.
We set that night before.
Yeah.
It was about 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and we had a 4-box gang, if I remember.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 6, I don't know.
Four.
Yeah, and we sent them buoys there, and
Yeah.
remember Deanie had a funny feeling about it.
Yeah.
He says in the old days you could see the Collenberg and she'd shoot them donuts
Yeah.
out, out of the smokestack there, and you see them puff, and it was dead calm, and Deanie says, I smell a rat here. And by the time we got done setting that box of nets, those 4 boxes of nets, we got around the north end of Outer Island. And by the time we got to Anderson's Point, and Morris's boat was 52 feet long and
Remember
44 ton or something like
The
that.
sea was breaking right over on the top of the back deck. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were like a surfboard
Yeah.
going past
Yeah.
Anderson's Point on the way home.
I remember that time my wife was scared to death out there because she heard about. I had that scanner home, and she
Yeah.
heard about that Fitzgerald there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, that was something else that day. But we were actually, Morris was on the lake that day the Fitz went down.
Yeah.
We were all outside Outer, dead calm
Yeah.
at 6 that night, but when she let loose about 7:30 that night, look out. Let's take a little break.
Take a little break here.
Yeah. He had the Indians working for him down there at the dock, and he got in a fight with him. And the Indian took off, and he chased him to the big hill. And the Indian got tired running and turned around and beat the shit out of Sully.
Yeah. Oh boy. So I don't know when he died. I'm reading all these newspapers, and Morris said go back in this period of time. I'm at 1915 now. And I know that some people were stealing nets from him in them days. They had all kinds of court cases going. There was 2 guys from the North Shore up there. Came down to Bayfield and they were stealing nets out of his twine shed. It was in the paper. I mean, they go to jail over it and the goddamn judge let them go.
Yeah.
So Sally Boutin wrote a nasty letter to the editor saying what the hell kind of government you got here. They looked at him. And he even gives the names of the guys. Stole Martin Erickson's nets.
That was the guy I tell you, Martin Erickson.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling you about.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one that talked to you.
He's the one that taught me because when he was on the fish tugs years ago down the South Shore, and he was down there, and here the herring was playing out. And he says, Morris, he said, if you get a big enough boat to go down the South Shore, he said, I'll bet you them herrings there.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that. He was standing on the dock with down the boost. I made the first trip. He said, what'd I tell you?
Yeah.
And they were ticked down there because they hadn't been fished for years.
I gotta use the restroom. So,
Okay. Okay, I'm rolling.
Morris, I want to go back to about when you were a kid again and growing up in Bayfield. We got a real nice snapshot of your commercial fishing, history there, and there's a lot to be said about that. But I would like to get to take a walk through Main Street with you, and we realize you were born up on Cooper Hill.
Yeah.
Where did you move after that? And
Right across, where Nancy lives right there now? My brother Elson, that's where he used to live.
okay,
Well, that's where I lived with him for many years.
on Second Street,
Second Street, yeah.
across the street, and
Yeah, right there.
on Second
Well,
Street.
that house burned down, remember, that's a new one now.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's where you lived for many years.
many years, my brother Al, yeah.
Okay. So you grew up there. When you were a kid, did you have any really good friends that you used to hang out with, or?
Not too many. I never, I don't know, I was way up in my 20s before I ever started doing much, mostly stay around home, and I don't know, pretty much to myself.
Yeah, pretty.
Yeah,
Just worked and
yeah,
went to school.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
so there was nobody that you really call your best friend. Just who
Well, I
were
had-
in your class at school for
Well, there was Philip Fortin and some of the day boys, and Wanda up here, Quachevich, remember she just died?
Imelda?
Yeah, I went to school with her, yeah.
Okay, so she was in your class. Then were any of the girls from Red Cliff in your class or anything like that? See.
There wasn't that much, I shouldn't say that, but there wasn't that much Indians up in the school at that time.
At the Catholic
Yeah,
school.
yeah, pretty a lot of what.
Were there any of the Lamouries there or stuff like that?
Yeah, there was some of them, yeah.
Up on Catholic Hill.
Yeah, Catholic Hill.
Some of the Cadots,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Okay. When you, I know one of the things that you really love in life, and it usually comes in October, and that's watching the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you've always been a New York Yankees fan.
I've always been a New York Yankee fan all my life.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the old days, listening to the ball games or watching
Well,
the
I'll tell you,
Mortys and.
I took the two daughters, they were about 8, 10 years old, and we went down to Chicago. I don't know if it was Buck Kennevick used to be in Beaver. I don't know if you heard of him. He was a good friend of Morty Baldwin's. So he wanted us to come down there to see some Yankee ball games. So we went down to Chicago, took the girls down, and that was when Whitey Ford, Yogi Bear, and all of them were playing. And Jeanette has got an autographed baseball of Whitey Ford yet.
What was that?
Or no, I'm thinking of not Whitey Ford, but he's an outfielder for the Yankees.
Mantle or?
Mickey Mantle, yeah. She's got a baseball in it. I told her one day, I said, I bet you're right, Judy, that's something worth something.
I'll bet you it is if she's got it in good condition.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're pretty young kids then, but
Yeah.
I remember telling stories that you guys used to listen to the World Series up at Morty's.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about who was playing? I know Vic Raschi was a good
Oh,
ball player.
yeah,
And
yeah, there was Yogi Bear, Whitey Ford. Well, I can remember before Mantle, there was Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah.
I remember him playing the outfield.
when did you start getting interested in the
I
Yankees?
don't know why. I just took it up when I was a kid.
Yeah, all of a sudden the Yankees.
Yeah.
Seen about 1927 when you were a real kid.
Yeah.
That was the best team there ever was
Oh,
in
yeah,
the world.
yeah. And I got a shirt home about Murderer's Row from the Yankees.
Oh boy.
Of Babe Ruth and everything. I should show you that sometime.
Murderer's Row, Lou
Murderer's
Gehrig,
Row.
Tony
They got it
Lazzari,
all of autographed down there.
all autographed.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was the ball team of
Yeah.
all ball teams.
Yeah.
He said the best ball team ever was the 27 Yankees. So did you ever see him down in the Twin Cities? Or?
Oh yeah, I went to and seen him, yeah. Went last summer and seen him down there.
Oh, was that right?
Yeah, I went down last, Jeanette and Harvey and I.
Yeah. A lot of fun to see Rod and
Yeah.
Alex Rod.
250 million guy.
Oh,
You Rod.
yeah, can you believe it? Yeah.
Well, I got a kick out of it. There's one year we went down to Twin Cities, so we wanted to find out where the Yankees stayed. So we found out that I can't name it right now, the whole hotel. So we got a place. Lucky to get a room. So we sit in the lobby. Well, after the ball players change, they put street clothes on. The fans notice them in baseball clothes. They put street clothes on. They were all walking right, but Eleanor was with me. She was waiting for Whitey Ford. They all walked right by, and he was the last one coming. Him and Pedro Remus was pitching, and he was the last one to come in. Eleanor kneeled up. He says, "Boy, I thought I had it made." They all went by, you know. So he says, "Come on to the bar." So we went into the bar with him. They had a couple of beers, but they had a curfew at midnight. They had to be up in their room. So we had a nice conversation. Well, you talk about a nice guy to meet with.
Remus? Yeah.
No, Whitey Ford.
Oh, Whitey Ford.
Oh, God, he was a nice guy, yeah. Yeah.
But, you were, there's some Boutin names here. Do you know anything about, I want to get to prison. Screw you up here a little bit. Talks about Don. Do you remember Duffy Boutin at all?
No,
A little bit early.
no.
Ed Jr. and his wife was Marie, the way I understand it. How about Elmore Boutin?
I would.
Okay. Remember Grover Boutin?
Yeah, Grover, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about. I know that Grover was on.
Well, he run an RTL Roy. He was captain on RTL Royal before Solly Boutin. I got to tell you a story about him. You know, Solly one day, the boat was late coming in from herring season, and all the other boats was in, and they didn't come, so all at once there he come. Old Dave Supple was engineer on her. So Solly went down to the boat, and he was kind of mad. He said, "What happened here?" He asked old Dave. He said, "I don't know." He said, "But I seen lots of places didn't look like home. They were lost."
Tell me the condition of some of those boats in those days, Morris. Of Solly's boats.
Well, they were pretty old. They were getting pretty tough shape.
What were the name of his boats?
RT Royal and the Elsinore. RT Roy and the Elsinore.
Elsinore.
Yeah.
Getting pretty old.
Oh yeah. Well, they're old wood boats.
Do they ever have any problems like with? You're talking about they're getting so old that you had that one story about the rats. There.
Oh yeah. Well, my dad was telling me that's what. Before I remember, he was talking about what happened there. There was always a lot of rats on them boats, you know. So in the morning, the old LCNL was going to pull out like that. The rats, when the guys come to work, they were jumping off of the boat. Well, they left the herring nets out in Big Bay too long, and they had to break ice.
Yeah.
And she got halfway out here, and they sunk her. And the rats, just like my dad, just like they knew something was going to go wrong. They got off with her.
Was that the RT Roy?
RT Roy.
So did they get her back to town?
Yeah, they got her back to town. Yeah.
They must have. Did they scuttle her? I wonder what happened to that boat.
Yeah, they scuttled her. Yeah.
That was their last.
Yeah. Well, the same way with Old Turner. The Old Turner's down here at White Bay. You know where she is down here.
C.W. Turner?
Yeah, she's down there.
I don't know where she's at.
Yeah, she's there a little bit. Didn't much of her sticking up yet. That's where they beached her down there too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where at?
Right down here, Pikes Bay, down by the marina, the other side there,
Oh, okay.
Past the river there.
Okay. C.W. Turner, that was a booth boat.
Booth boat, yeah.
Transport boat. Fossil Islands came in 38, so
Yeah.
her last year would have been 37.
Yeah.
Okay. Glassfold Boutin, do you know him?
No.
That's the one you and Dean used to get, and you used to call him Glasbow. Remember you and him used to get them arguments? Dean would say, "There's a Glasbow Boutin."
Oh yeah.
But his real name was Glassfold.
Glasgow, yeah.
Okay. Grover, Joe Boutin, Louis Boutin.
I mean, well, Louis Boutin, I knew him real well.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Louis.
Louis was, I got to tell you something. When we moved out to Manitou Island, that's what John Hanson, we've told you a story about when they went adrift, never found him. Well, old Ditto, he's a great big guy. He used to wear them two-piece underwear. So when Louis got out the old socks and underwear, he washed them all and he hung them on the line. So he's going to change clothes on that. And the top piece made a hole, wait till his legs, he made one suit. He didn't need the pants at all. I'll never forget that when he did that.
Louis.
Yeah.
I can remember him too. Philip Boutin.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Do you remember anything about
Oh,
Philip?
yeah, old Philip, yeah. He was great on nets too. There was a good man on twine. That's all he done all his life. Boy, he could seam nets and mend.
Was he quite a bit older than you then?
Oh, yeah.
Who was Philip's dad? Do you remember?
God, I don't know. Offhand.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. There's a Merton Boutin. Theodore Boutin.
Yeah, Theodore, yeah.
Theodore actually bought out Frank Shaw's,
Yeah.
or Burt Hill's stuff
Yeah.
in 1909, I think it was. Then that's when he got in the fishing business,
Yeah.
so. Walter Boutin,
Walter Boutin.
you remember him at all?
Well, my dad was talking about him years ago. He must, I don't know if he stayed in a tent or something, and talking about Corey B. That, there used to be an old wood doctor, I don't know if you remember that or not, but years ago when they logged, that's what they used to load the logs off of. But they had a little, my dad was telling me about it, he had a little fish shack on the end of that. And that's where he fished from, years ago. Fished all alone.
That dock there, so that would have been Walter. That dock was there. I got a photo at home, Morris, of your place there when they were mining it, where the Quarry Bay.
Yeah.
And all the rock rubble there, and that dock was, there was a dock there at that
Yeah.
period in time, so. There's so many names, those are the ones I have. Let's just stop right there for a minute, I'm starting to get lost in my own
Well,
thoughts.
let's talk a little bit about some of the people in town and where things used to be. And
Yeah,
I
okay.
mean, where did you hang out in town? Were you down at Morty's?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I got
Tell
old
us
enough
about
to-
Morty Baldwin.
Oh, yeah, Morty, he was quite a guy. Morty, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you got a kick out of him when he was tending bar. He had a big long bar down there, you know. And he'd take a drink on the end of the bar like that. If he was on the end of the bar, and he'd give it a shove like that and stop right in front of you. Boy, he was good at it, yeah.
Was he a storyteller? Did he like to talk?
Well, quite a bit,
Tell us about his brother, remember Dudu and,
yeah. Well, due to that time, that was, he was fishing with, up on the North Shore, what the heck, or Iroquois it was, Bogus Parker. They had that little boat. And Doodle, the engine was missing. And Bogus said to Doodle, lay over the stern, they had the exhaust over the stern, and let me know when she starts hitting. So Bogus said he was down working on the engine, he happened to look up, no Doodle. Went overboard. And he turned around and thought maybe he'd come up, never seen him again. And Bogus that time, he put you went crazy, for a long time. Boys, oh boys.
that's what happened to,
Yeah, Doodle, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Bogus had come up, I remember him telling us about it, and boy, years after, he never forgot it.
yeah, so that's what happened to
Yeah.
Dudu.
He don't know, he said, by laying over, if he got gas from them fumes or
And passed out,
what happened, yeah,
he must have just went.
yeah.
Dudu, what was his real name?
Woodrow,
Woodrow.
yeah,
And their dad was
that,
Ed Bull?
Ed Baldwin, they had the blind pig up there on the street, yeah.
Okay, and the blind pig was where?
Right where Morty's is now, that's an
Okay.
old building, boy, that one,
Yeah.
yeah.
And for the sake of the future generations, what is a blind pig, Morris?
Oh, I don't, they just named it that, you know,
Was that during Prohibition?
Prohibition, yeah.
So it was a place where they were selling actually illegal
Yeah, homebrew and, yeah.
horn brew.
Yeah, yeah.
Ed Baldwin.
Yeah, there was a character story that come about him.
Tell us a little bit more about Wally Young.
Wally Young, well, he was another guy, fished all his life. He worked for me for many years. Yeah, another guy that was good on, well, you know, back in them days, all of our hired men was good on twine. You know, they learned it.
Yeah.
There's one thing about them, you know, you could come on and shore. Nowadays, you come off the lake, you know, you couldn't say to the guy, well, go on and real work on this. They don't know anything about it. In them days, you come off the lake, they didn't have to tell them. If there was nets, they go in the shed and they start reading work on right away.
Yeah. Yeah, they just had work to do.
But I don't know, it seems though nowadays they don't want to learn it.
And they want to get on the boat and go home when they're done.
Yeah.
Wally Young, and you used to go to Ashland with those guys. if
Oh
I
yeah.
remember right.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about Wally Jelinek and
Well, I got to tell you one about Wally Johnson. He lived upstairs from me. That's the house. I think it was the second or third year I got married. And you know, he was the guy that always wanted to go out. You know, he'd make up stuff about his wife to get started an argument. And he'd come down the steps. I'll never forget. He started laughing. He'd say to me, "See how easy it is if you want to go out." He wasn't mad, but you know. So anyway, he was a painter. So over here at the lumberyard, they give him a big basket of fruit for Christmas. I'll never forget. He got in a fight with his wife. Down come the bananas, oranges coming down the steps, and him behind it.
who was he married to?
Alice Johnny. Alice was her name.
Okay. Was she a Bayfield girl?
No, she was from Madly Down. She was, oh God, that's none of the, give me it again, no. She was from Madly Down, I know.
Okay, sounds good. You told a story about how you guys used to go to Ashland with Wally and
Well,
and
we stopped at Fisher's Corner one time.
Yeah.
This was something, they had a big dancer. And Wally met a guy at the bar. He cleaned up here in the bar. He had some money sitting on the bar. And the guy had taken it. And the guy said he didn't. So Wally says, I know he did. So who did we run into down at Fisher's Corner? He's at the bar. And he grabbed him and he nailed him. He says, I'm going to get my money's worth. Well, Fags used to be his name. He was a big gun. And his son was a ex-wrestler. He was behind the bar.
Who's that?
Fag was his name.
Oh.
Well, he jumped off of the bar and he grabbed Wally Young like that. And he says, open the door. And Wally was a big guy. He threw him out on the concrete. So they were going to call the cops. So I went out and I shook Wally. I said, Wally, he said, I had enough. He prayed he was out, you know.
Yeah.
So we took off. Holy crap. Drove right through that great big bay window.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wally was a big guy. Eh? I remember
yeah.
the Jolnick's not being all that real
No.
heavy duty, but
But Wally, whole country was a husky man.
was he?
Yeah.
Big, powerful kid?
Oh, yeah.
I thought you used to tell me that Wally Jolnick would start the fight and Wally Young would finish it.
Oh, yeah.
I guess Wally was tough in a fight.
Oh, yeah. Wally was quicker than hell, too.
Wally Young?
And Wally Jellick, too. He was darn good with his hands.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I
I don't know,
asked.
it seems as though some of them guys, they go out, they just love that on the weekends. Pretty every Monday they'd be talking about getting in a fight with somebody.
Yeah. I was talking with Allison one time. I said, Allison, I said, what was Wally Jolnick like in a fight? And Allison told me, he said, like a wild
Yeah, yeah.
Allison was a funny guy too. Was Al tough too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you betcha.
Dewey Fazell and him?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They wasn't afraid of anybody. How about yourself? Did you ever?
No, I never, that's one thing I'll say, I never got in a fight to him.
Yeah.
I was a person that started, I'd get out.
Yeah.
I never believed in that because,
Yeah. There was something else.
yeah.
Were the bars in Bayfield fights all the time and
Pretty much, you know.
every night, eh?
Well, I don't say every night, but pretty often.
Yeah. Come Saturday night,
Oh,
look
yeah.
out.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys have a movie theater in Bayfield?
Yeah, right where down there by, on the corner where the, pier is now, that building that just fixed up on the corner there.
Okay, the old Tate building?
Yeah, that was all.
Did you go to movies in that?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I gotta tell you one about my grandfather, Eddie Boutin. And they used it, you go into the movies there in Bayfield and they had a silent picture, you know, baseball game. And a guy was going from first to second. He gets right up, he said, slide, goddamn you, slide. He says, he forgot himself. It was a silent picture.
Yeah, silent movie.
Yeah.
Did you go to many movies in there at all, or?
Once in a while, not too long, yeah.
So, what was the name of that place? Was that the Princess, or?
Yeah, yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
Princess.
And Buddy McQuaid and him and Puss Jellick, there's another story. They used to paddle all the time.
Who was Puts?
Puss,
Right.
yeah. And then he was a guy around here, he paddled for years, you know, with fish. He'd go all over. And he'd go down the line, you know, and he'd sell stuff. Well, if he couldn't sell it all, he'd trade. He'd come back with pigs, he'd come back with chickens, he'd come back with potatoes, he'd come back with everything. Then he'd sell it in Bayfield.
Sure. Do you remember Bud McQuaid much?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's quite a bit older. All the guys a little bit
Yeah.
older than you,
But he was telling anyway. Buddy was telling me him and Puss, they went down the line, they bought some saltfish one year. And they took them down to there and they were sour. The AP stores. So they come in, holy God, that guy was mad. Oh, he said, don't worry. So they must have been wise because they had a keg of good stuff. So they give him the good stuff, you know, change. They went to the next store, the same thing, but they just say change, but they get the same back from the first store. They're all sour.
Yeah.
So the next week, Buddy said to Puss said, we gotta go down there. He said, you mean to tell me you're gonna go back down there? They're gonna be wild. He said, I wouldn't even go near there. So he said, Buddy, Puss walked in, you know, and that guy jumped all over. What the hell's the matter? He said, that must be that goddamn crooked brother of mine. He said, I've never been around here before.
Oh, God.
So he sold him some more.
Oh, yeah. My crooked brother. Eh? Oh, boy. Did you ever go on the road selling yourself?
No, I never did. Yeah.
Tell us working about I remember you used to have phone calls to Rocky down at, on Fulton Street there in the Jewish market in the old days. You sold quite a bit of whitefish through to those guys?
Oh, yeah, Jews, yeah.
Yeah. Was that the
Yeah, it's comical, I can tell you about them, you know. When we used to ship fish to them all the time, you'd call them up early in the morning and see what the price is. You could, if say if it was 8 o'clock you opened up, you could make a half a dozen calls and everyone would be right to the penny. I often thought to myself, I don't know what, they set the price at night or they got up early in the morning, because one wouldn't pay more than the other.
Oh.
All the same.
so?
Then I'll never forget that. They hang up and then they say, God bless you, have a nice day.
Yeah. You sold many a ton of fish down there.
Yeah.
I just remember Gayhart packing so
Yeah.
many of them. Rocky. I wonder if all them guys are in.
Well, you see, when we put up herring in the olden days, you know, they all went down south to the mining industry. They never had refrigeration in them days, you know, that's all, because saltfish would keep. Nowadays, you couldn't sell them that stuff because they're too modern, now they got refrigeration in.
Yeah.
And I guess what I understood, I guess that saltfish, they had to have, the miners, they sweat so much, they had to have so much salt, I guess,
So, oh, okay.
to eat, you know.
Morris, where do you sell your fish now?
Now we ship them all over.
Where to? Where do they go?
Well, some of them go to, depends on New York, Chicago, or,
So you're really nationally.
yeah,
Iowa, no, it's not Iowa anymore.
no,
It used to be for the herring here
Yeah.
recently. You
Yeah.
go to Iowa.
yeah.
So you have a refrigerated truck.
You know, we meet it down in Nobbaway, Michigan, to a big semi, and then they pick it up from there and they go from there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
How about
I'm talking about olden days. I get back to them. My dad was talking about Eddie Boutin.
yeah.
But when they first come here years ago, in them days you couldn't sell a pound of fish fresh. You know, everything they'd haul their fish in. It was all salted. They'd go on the islands and they'd salt it, bring a keg of fish in. Then they'd barter. They'd trade it for food. There's no cash involved. That's what they did in the olden days. Yeah,
Right around the turn of the century.
yeah. I remember my dad talking about that.
Yeah, the fir-
On a Hanson, just a man from Rocky Island, from Bob and pull it into Bayfield.
Well, in the old days, the first gas engine came here in about 1903. There were steam engines around
I gotta
then.
tell you another story about Eddie Boutin. When my dad and them, they had a little boat here, and they got one of the first gas engines. And Eddie was out there, he had the sailboat, you know, that's all he had. Well, my dad said in the morning that engine, they had wouldn't start, cranking. So they were gonna tow Eddie out with his sailboat. All at once a little wind come up, Eddie moves away from the dock and he raised his sail. That's the only kind of an engine they have, he said, it always works. So he went out, lifted his nets. My dad said they seen him coming in, they were dead calm, he was rolling. My dad said, let's go by him and ask him why his engine's working now. He got so mad he wouldn't even throw him the line.
Yeah, those were the days. The Mackinac boats. What about populations in Bayfield? Was Bayfield much larger than Morris? I know that you fillet your fish now, but in sell them around the area too. Did you sell your filleted fish in the area?
I gotta tell you about that. Years back, even with Boost down there, before we went and bought our own place, very seldom people come down with a fillet fish. They'd buy a whole fish, take it home. Very seldom you'd fillet fish on it. All the ones I just took on, and they're pretty quick, more and more.
Well, it even got to the point now where you're taking the pin bones out of
Oh
it.
yeah, that's now they come now. They even want to skin. There's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
I'm not going to start skinning fish. But Craig was telling me not to change the subject, but he went down down in Michigan. Spicy is the name of it, where I buy my flame machines.
Yeah.
They're making a new machine down there. It's all computerized. Like if you put a whole fish in there, for example, see if you wanted scaled, or if you wanted dressed, or if you wanted pin bone, or all of it, just press a button and it'll do it. It all went over to Japan. Craig said, you ought to see the size of that machine. Just imagine how many jobs that'll take away from people, that one machine.
Yeah. What does a machine like that run?
I bet you $100,000.
Yeah. Take a while before you got your money back in these restaurants, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But you know, just like mine down there, I've had mine now, I think it's 2 years.
Yeah.
That thing is paid for time and time again, just what you save in labor.
Well, can you tell me what's something like that worth of a flaying machine?
Well, I paid $30,000 for this one, but it was used.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you bought a new one, it'd be 60 grand.
Oh
maybe?
yeah.
Something like that.
But I can run 50 pounds of fish in there in 5 minutes,
Yeah.
just as fast as you feed it.
Yeah. Well, I remember in the old days, me and you and Deanie and everybody else filleting fish.
Yeah.
You know, you know, this
Well,
automation.
nowadays, there's nothing. You couldn't get, how many people could you get that knows how to play fish? You couldn't find anybody, no.
Yeah, very few.
Yeah.
Very few. And pin one besides.
Yeah.
Do you still have a fair market, you know, going to the restaurants and
Oh,
stuff?
yeah. Have a lot of restaurants all over Bayfield. Badly now, some of the action.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you've got
Keeps them busy, yeah.
Yeah, so in the summertime, that's a
Yeah, you keep
good,
them-
reliable market.
Keeps them busy, yeah. Yeah.
Well, you plan on buying any more boats now, or are you
No,
all done fishing,
no,
or what's the
that's-
scoop?
I think we got enough boats.
Yeah, we see you got finally bought a pleasure craft. I wonder
Yeah.
what brought that on.
You know what? I gotta tell you a story about that. We was over to Madeline for a few times for supper.
Yeah.
And every time, you know, about 10 o'clock or watch for the ferry. We gotta get going. Well, we're just having fun, take the ferry. I said, this is enough of this. I'm getting my own boat. And when I get over here, I can come back when I wanna.
So what do you have now?
Beeliner. Yeah, seats 6 people. It's a nice boat.
What,
Got
what's
a
it,
kit.
what did you name it?
It's a Stargazer. That was the name on it when I got it.
You didn't change the name or anything.
They wanted me, everybody in Bayfield said, name it the party boat.
Who's your good friends now? I know that Big Tiny and be kind of fun to
Jeff there, yeah.
Jeff and-
Yeah, yeah.
Tiny and the gals down at Maggie's here are
Yeah.
pretty good friends, I
Yeah.
guess. Heidi and
Yeah.
them.
That's what keeps you young, all these young girls.
Yeah. Well, I'll stay away from that one. Got any advice for young fishermen, Morris? Young guys that want to make it in the business. You've been real successful. You've worked your butt
Well,
off.
I would say the fishing, I think it's going to be a dying cause. For the simple reason is, not like me, you know, Craig, see, I had the outfit and he just took it over. But if you was going to buy that equipment, you couldn't start a business. No way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
You got
with
half
the
a
price
million.
of, with the price for boats and nets and everything, you could never afford it.
And the dock space
And
too.
the docks and all this, yeah.
Alright, you got $1 million stuck in
Well,
everything
yeah,
there,
yeah.
Morris,
It's a
over-
lifetime.
Yeah.
Lifetime work. You know?
Yeah.
I know, I always talking about way back when Booth down there, we fished for years. Well, in them days, you know, they wouldn't give you enough nets, you know, maybe a box or two, and then your patron would give you a couple more. Like Wilbur Peterson says, Cripe says, I'll be 50 years old before I have enough nets to fish, you know.
Sure.
But they'd give you just so much till it was paid for.
Yeah.
And then they'd give you some more.
Company store type of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That was probably the smartest thing you ever did was break from Booth, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I never found out what fish was worth till we bought our own company.
Yeah.
How much money they were making in the years.
Yeah. On you.
Yeah.
Morris, when did you break from the Booth fishery?
Holy cripe.
60.
I know we've been down to bay fishing now, but I think over 20 years, 25 years down here,
God, longer than that.
or maybe more than that.
Probably 1960, I'd
Yeah,
say.
yeah, something in there, yeah.
When?
1960.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You just had your 40th last year.
Huh?
You just had your 40th last year.
Yeah,
Okay, so it'd be 69.
yeah. Yeah.
So it'd be about
Well, that, yeah.
60, 68, 69.
Yeah.
You broke from them. That was the smartest thing you ever did.
Oh, yeah.
So, tell me your connection to Craig. He's
That's my grandson.
your grandson, and,
Yeah.
and so, who's his folks?
His folks is Harvey Hookman. He's a carpenter.
Uh-huh. And when did he start fishing with you?
Harvey?
No, Craig.
Oh, God, ever since he was, what, just like we're talking about my age, he started when he was 8, 9 years old with me too.
He did.
Yeah.
I
In
got
fact, I showed him a picture one time, his oilers down the lake, I had to cut him off, you know. And I showed, that ain't me, he says, I said, sure it is, it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got a picture of him when he's about 8, 9 years old in Emil's pot over there.
yeah, yeah.
From,
He's another guy, he just loves it.
yeah. He's good.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He knows his
He's a
stuff.
hard worker.
He is.
Yeah, because he's young.
Oh yeah. Well, he's 40.
Yeah, but he's one of the few.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's what I said. When they're gone, I don't know, I told you about his boy. He's got a little boy, 7 years old. Wyatt is his name. And I always tease him. I said, you're going to be a fisherman like your dad? I said, that's what you think.
Yeah. Wyatt.
Yeah.
No. I don't have much more that comes to my mind right now. Probably as soon as I leave, there'll be a ton of stuff, but you get played out talking.
Yeah. Well, that's it. So anything to talk about. Well, we can do it again sometime if you wanted to.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you think of other things that we've missed.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know we missed a ton of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
too.
Well, there's a darn many things. I was gonna say, just like I said before, you start talking about your whole life history, there's a lot of stuff to,
We've talked almost an hour and 45 minutes straight now,
Yeah.
so, you know, you could really get into, you know, how good a friend Elvis was and all
oh,
that
yeah,
stuff.
there's one of my best friends, Elvis.
Yeah,
Talk about Elvis. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
tell us.
did know him briefly.
Well, Elvis was he was a guy around here, he was a mechanic, and he had down here, right down in the corner down here, he had a shop down here, he used to, Chrysler engines, in them days, that was a big thing in the marine engines, and that was his business. Well, then after he got done with that, then he went for boot, no, I got ahead of my story, he was engineer for boot down there on the Apostle Islands for years. Then he bought this shop. Then after he done with the shop, then he went to work for me, like I said, on the boat in herring season and stuff.
Elvis Moe is, that's his name, is Elvis Moe, to make that clear. And Elvis Moe's dad, I believe, was Louis Moe.
Yeah, well, he's the one that, another one that out sat down, you ever told that story about, he went out to St. Herring and never found him again? Sat down, he went out in the fall to set his nets back out, outside the sand down, never come back.
Louis Moe,
Yeah.
and so I've got some photos of Elvis when he was 15 years
Yeah.
old at Sand Island. So Elvis has been in the fishing business, and he was a great engineer. He's
Oh,
a
yeah.
good mechanic.
Oh.
Chrysler engines, he knew inside and out. He could start them without fuel, I think.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's how good he was.
Yeah.
So his photo's right behind
Yeah,
you there
yeah.
too.
yeah, that's when, on the herring bay.
Yeah, Elvis died picking apples up
Yeah,
at Jim Harrison's
Jim Harrison's,
orchard.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Did you used to spend any time out at Sand Island?
No,
No.
not me,
But you had your place. You had a Quarry Bay.
Yes.
Is that right? I don't know if we really got much of a description of what that place was like.
Well, then we built a dock there, then we had a
About
warehouse.
about when did you build the dock?
Holy crap. That'd be the late 30s.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we had a dock there and we had a warehouse there where we could wheel nets and stuff right inside, a nice building. And we had a cabin. And then the boats in them days used to come out every day, pick up our fish, give us ice, or if we need groceries, they'd bring it out to us. And,
How long would you stay at the island in the summertime?
well, I'll tell you, there's another story. When the flies and mosquitoes come, we got out of there, come from fish. Them biting flies in the summertime, and then in the evening, there were mosquitoes. My dad used, I'll never forget, it's time to get out here, go to town,
Yeah,
fish in town.
yeah, that'd
Oh, terrible.
be horrible.
But you didn't own the land there.
No,
Who
and
owned?
well, Wisconsin University.
Uh-huh.
And then they turned it over to the Park Service after. That's why we leased from there. And they'd only give us 1 year lease at a time. They wouldn't lease us any longer than that. I suppose on that, for that purpose, they didn't know what they were gonna do with it.
Yeah.
Oh, we tried time and time again to buy that quarry bait and those,
No dice.
no dice.
But did you build the buildings out there?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And you hauled one from Hermit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, do you have any photos at home of all that, Morris?
I was just telling Jeff, I got 2 great big drawers. I gotta go start going to them. Pictures galore.
Yeah, of the old days
Yeah.
there.
But we should scan those at the.
Yeah, you should give me some, a
It's
chance
better
to
to
scan
scan
them.
Yeah.
Better to scan them than to shoot with this.
Yeah, and I can email it to you. and you
Well,
can-
didn't I give you some before, Bob?
Yeah, but I didn't, yeah, you did, but I need to see the ones of the fish camp there.
Yeah.
There's one with you and your dad and I think Uncle
Leo?
Leo on the dock. And that was a real nice photo, but you know, I was as interested in as the pile driver on the beach and
Well,
the buildings.
That one I
and
was telling you about, I just come across it not too long ago. I should have brought it out. My dad and me.
the Vera at the
Yeah,
dock.
standing at that's a nice picture.
Yeah, those gotta be scanned,
Well,
because if they get lost, you know, nobody
Yeah.
will ever see them
Yeah.
again. And anything else that if you got pictures of you guys on the net reels, or
Yeah.
doing any of that stuff,
Yeah.
those are real important photos to
Yeah.
have, because they show people,
yeah,
you know, a picture of the island,
Yeah.
not a big deal.
yeah.
But when you see the people working there in the fish camps, kinda like, you
You
remember?
know, back in the old days, you know, they ain't as many pictures as a person should have taken.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I suppose just forgot about it, we would think.
I didn't have time and
Yeah.
didn't, you know, didn't even,
That's what I always said, you always could carry a camera on the boat. Sometime you run across some beautiful things and say, oh, if I only had a camera, take a picture of this.
well, the only guy that really had a decent camera in the whole area was Gil Larson.
Yeah.
And he came up in the 30s. I remember he got all those nice shots of Ole Olsen at Bear Island
Yeah,
over
yeah.
there and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he'd have got over and seen you guys at Presqu'île
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
you know, and the Bodines and Johnny Frostman and stuff, you know, all those, and the Ganyas,
Yeah.
you know, all those, you know,
Yeah.
that one photo is very, very important I
Yeah.
have here of Ganyas, because
Yeah.
that's really the only one that's
Yeah.
around. I've got one at home.
Pretty sure that one you got to the dock, that's Ganya's.
I've
Pretty
got
sure.
one at home with the Best Suzanne, the Wallace, and the Stranger tied up there, and that was in the spring of 36,
You got the,
34.
you got any pictures of Hadlin down here years ago when he had the dock? You got much pictures of them too, yeah?
I got pictures of the Red Wing there, the Viking,
Yeah.
Fish Hawk. Nice photos of that
Yeah.
area. Plus the dock going out in that big storm. I got them from Garner. Garner let me scan them in. And then I'm turning all his stuff over to VHA. All my work is recorded, and then I've got it listed, and I've got the hard drive that's gonna go to them, so that, you know, it'll be a little bit more having to go into the, you know, these photos wear out over periods of
I
time.
gotta tell you before we get done about Fred Harry's, used to be, he had a little single engine airplane. And he used to fly around a lot, so we was fishing from Corey Bay out there. And we fished there pretty all winter because there was ice in the bay, but outside of the bay there was open water. So we had enough ice in there. We had a trail where we run through the boat, but he'd come out with his plane, land on the ice, and he'd haul our fish into town. Put them in gunny sacks, and he'd haul them in there, right down here by the Coast Guard station. So anyway, he'd come out one Saturday, we'd come in on Saturday, we'd bring it back on Monday. So the plane was sitting on the ice out there, and the prop was going up, going like that. And Gilmore Young was with me. He said, "What's the matter with that plane?" So he stopped it and bone dry in oil, not a drop of oil. So I happened to have 5 gallons of oil in the boat, so we filled it up with oil. And I was kind of scared, you know, to get back up there. Well, he says, "I'll just fly low with ice." He just flew low to get to Bayfield. So we come in, boy.
You spent quite a bit of time in your life ice fishing too, didn't
Yeah.
you?
And then I got to tell you another story about it. So anyway, we froze the boat in out there in the fall
At where?
at Corey Bay.
Okay.
And we come to town, figured it'd be good for the winter time. We got in town 1 2 days. Here comes one of them 3-day northeasters.
Yeah.
And we was afraid the ice was going to break up out there and come to the boat later.
Sure.
So I said to Fred, it was snowing and blowing. I said, "You think you can take me out to Stockton?" "Sure," he said. So we got in the plane. We had to fly low over Bass Island because of the snow just to pick up the land. So we got out there to Corey Bay. That it was all broke up in chunks, and ice was going down like that. You know. He said, "Do you want to go down and take a look at the boat?" Well, I didn't know nothing about it. I said, "You going to land it?" "Sure," he said. Well, we got close to that, and you could see the ice skate going like that. I thought one of them skis ever dropped in one of them cracks, and we just flipped like that.
Yeah.
So we got in there, I put some more lines on the boat and everything, and it was only about 2 blocks of ice out there, you know, it was open water. And I knew that about airplanes, you don't take off with the wind, you know, you go against the wind. So I said to Fred, I said, "I have a darn good nose to stay here." I was getting scared. "Oh, come on," he said, "we'll make it." So we took off. And when the big swells come up in the ice, and the ski, we dropped like that, and we got to the end. I bet the skis didn't clear the water about that far.
Jesus.
Holy, I was scared. Holy.
Would he just laugh then, or?
Yeah, a little cigar in his mouth, you know, oh boy.
He was a World War II pilot, I guess.
Another thing, we landed out there, you know, said same thing, he landed in Corey Bay on the ice. And he landed on a little bit of a snowdrift. And the skis kind of stuck to the ice. So he said to me, he said, "More, just jump." So we jumped, down the plane went. There was nothing under that bank of snow, see? And it split the whole length of the runners. So anyway, he jumps out, I come up, you know, and he jumped. I said, "Fred, don't jump." And he's all excited, he jumped down, he went. So finally he got out. So we went up to my cabin there, and we had some old clothes, so we changed clothes, and that's the first time I knew it. He had a scarf in the back of his back all the way to his seat, you know. And you ever would talk about, over in Korea, he was shot down. He was a fighter pilot. And then he finally told a story. He said, "I don't remember me dragging him on him dragging him on the plane." So boy, he's some guy.
He was in Korea then, eh?
Oh. Another time he was flying, I had so many stories of him. He said, "I Gilmore Young. There's only a 2-seater, you know, and he's supposed to sit on anybody else's lap flying." So Fred said, instead of making 2 trips, he said, "Have Gilmore sit on your lap." So he got down there. Gilmore wouldn't fly in the plane. I never forget that. He comes down there, he makes the sign of the cross. "Oh boy, Bob, there's a last you're going to see of me." You know, he was scared. Oh, he was scared.
Gilmore?
Yeah. So we got out over Corey Bay, and he said to Fred Harris, "What happens?" He said, "If this engine stopped." Fred turns the key off. Down we go, shh. And He hung on to me. I tried to go to scream. But he was up high enough. He knew to land. So he had enough speed. Gilmore said, "I'll never ask you anything anymore. That's enough for it." Holy boys! Oh,
That's a great story.
oh my God.
Fred Harry's.
And then another time, I don't know how many times I flew with him, We flew out once on the south end of the Bastion to see the coyote. And he'd circle around him like that, and pretty quick, they'd try to get away pretty quick. They'd squat right down. They couldn't get away, so they knew that. And he flopped that plane upside down, real low, with a revolver, hit that coyote right through the head. One shot, that's how good he was, going at that speed.
Is that right?
Yeah. So anyway, he didn't tell me what he was going to do. See, when he flipped it over, that all was holding me is that seatbelt. I bet you I could reach right and get my heart. Oh, I was scared. I told him, I said, the next time you see a coyote, you leave me off. That first.
There's a bounty on him then?
Oh.
Yeah, Fred Harry's. Remember his
Oh,
wife, Catherine?
I got to tell you another story. We went out Stockton Island in the spring. Gilmore Young and I and Betty Carlson. And we went out, we set that day, We come back in by Anderson's Point. There's no ice, but where'd that field of ice come by? Great big heavy stuff. We couldn't get back into Presqu'île. So we had to go back to all around Sandpoint. And there's great big icebergs made out like that, just like a slip. We pulled into there and we tied the boat up. Well, all we had was our lunch pail, So we went to sleep that night. And I was laying by the stove. Betty Carlson and Wolford was sleeping across like that. So Wolford said he woke up at night. All we had were our coverall jackets. So I had Betty's jacket on me. Betty, he said, was looking at me, half froze. Wolford said, well, take your jacket back. He said, wake him up. So anyway, I had a ship-to-shore radio on there, so I called Bayfield, and Fred Harris told him we was out of snuff and stuff, and told him to bring some groceries out for us. So I put it all in the gunny sack. So he flew over out around Sandbar Lake, and he opened the door like, bombs away, he said, that lit right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Benny Carlson, he was quite a guy too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Did he work for you very
yeah,
long?
Yeah. Till he got so bad,
Yeah.
drinking, he just wouldn't show up after a while.
My dad said he was really good at seaming nets.
Oh, he could, yeah. Just like a machine.
Yeah. Probably the best ever.
Yeah.
Quickest ever anyway. Did you work at all with Vic Goodlet or any of those guys?
Yes.
Dan Lindahl?
Yeah. Vic worked for me for quite a while too.
Yeah.
He worked out all the time after Dan left here,
Yeah.
Worked for us. He was another good man at Dwight.
Tell us a little bit about Reuben Nelson. I know you had one point in time you had some stronger feelings about him, but
Yeah, he was quite a guy, Reuben.
I know you bought the DN from him,
Yeah.
I think.
I never had too much to do with Reuben, but he was a guy too. When he come up here, he tried to take your spots. That
He didn't try, he did.
boy, yeah.
Tough character. Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you another story about we got stranded.
About who?
We got stranded on Outer Isle. We fished under the ice here, and all of us blowing northeast or something. So that's when I had a runner's set with an airplane engine on it. So he's coming back going towards Canada. All at once I looked out to the window, Wolford says, he said, we're getting on broken ice. It was all broke up. Well, we didn't know it during the day, see? And we just swung around like that. When I swung around, I looked to my left and I could see open water. That's how close we got everywhere in the lake.
Oh,
So we come back to all around. There was an old shack there, No windows. We had
Sam Hahn's old place?
Sam Hahn's old place. Took our windbreakers, put over the windows. We didn't have any axes or anything, so they had some old cedar posts out there used to use for the reels. Pulled them down. There's a barrel stove in there. Shove it in, to the burnt off, and then shove it in some more. So Wolford was looking around for some sugar. Every jar he took down would be salt, or soap. So anyway, he found a little pan like that. He said the Indians used to go out years ago and used to put the balsam, not the balsam, but hemlock boughs off there and make tea out of it. So he went outside, put his bits and come in, and he picked it all like that. He found an old kettle like that. He put it on the stove and he boiled it. Well, he said, we got to wait. So he took one sip after it cooled off. He said, Morris, I must have got a hold of the wrong stuff. It was really bitter. So anyway, the soap that he found the day before, he went down to the ice and he cut a hole. He said, if you can't have anything to eat, you can at least wash up, he said.
yeah. Did you have any fish on the boat then, or on that on the Winslet then, or?
No, this was comical, I could tell you anything. We went out the next morning to get some fish to eat. We had set some nets that day. We lifted 2 nets to get 2 whitefish. We went to town, we come back out, there were 30, 40 fish to the net, the same one we could. Wolford says, look at that, we want some fish to eat, there wasn't any, now look at them.
That was that at all around
Yeah.
Sandpoint then?
There was another good guy working for me, Wilford Peterson. God, he was a peach of a guy.
One of the great guys of all time.
Yeah,
He'd been in that business his whole life.
yeah, you know.
Wilford passed away here 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, he was, boy, he worked hard, that guy.
Yeah. He was a genuine comedian too.
Oh, yeah.
He was full of fun.
Oh, yeah.
That's for a different day.
I
What do you
remember,
remember about Wilford anyway?
I remember one time we was down the South Shore, he worked for me, you know. That's what he told me, I think I told you a story about that when we sent the 15-box gangs down there for trout in the summertime. When I got that rainy weather and the clay water moved out, and we pulled it out, just solid redwood suckers. All day long, from early in the morning till getting sun going down. So we had to pull the last 2 boxes in, we thought we'd pick them on the run. So that Wilford, you know, you're comical, and Bucky, you know, he was getting mad anyway. He said, he said, there must be enough suckers floating here from Queen to the Sioux, he said. So anyway,
Bucky Boutin.
Wilford said to him, he said to me, Morris, he said, let's move in. Move in, he said, well, because we're getting thicker. He jumped that high off the floor, and then Wilford started laughing.
That was Bucky that got wound up there.
Yeah.
That was something when you got them, those suckers in this. There isn't many suckers
Well,
out there now,
I
is
got to
there?
tell you another story. He fished one boat down there for me in the summertime. So I was going down to Booth, you know.
What did he fish, the Ivana brothers?
Yeah. And anyway, I was going down to the dock, and I met him coming up the street. I said, you know, a comic was, this was in August. I said, where are you going over? He said, I'm looking for pickers. Pickers? I wonder what he's talking about. Yeah, he said, go down to the boat. Well, he must have 3-4 ton, just piled in there. He said, I'm looking for pickers. I said, pick them out, I'll give them the fish for nothing. We don't want to pick suckers. So anyway, he picked them all out. Oh, he said, I caught them off. He, the crazy fool, went back down and sat in the same spot. You ought to see the second time. He got him again.
Did you get any whitefish with them at all?
Well, there was a few trout, see, but it keeps make you move in down there, and that's where we got stuck with it, see.
Yeah.
Right into the sucker area.
There doesn't seem to be as many suckers as there used to be, does there?
Or them carmens, no. You know, there's no more nominees left either. They got all that cleaned right out.
Lots of cormorants.
Oh, they're thick. And Craig was telling me that's another story about in that 90 feet them trap nets. Now we thought 90 feet they're still down there.
Yeah.
I don't know how far they can go. You think the pressure would don't bother them.
Yeah, they're built for depth too.
Yeah.
Used to get them old ducks in the winter time, you know, in the fall there. You'd see a few of those hell divers and stuff, but nothing like these.
Well, you ought to watch
cormorants
them
now.
down there. It's a shame down the slips down here. You know, they planted brook trout, them little perch down there. They'll go in the dock there in the summertime. I and Craig was standing there. They go down and pick up one like that, just that quick and swallow it. And they ain't down a minute. Come up with another one. Boy, they can catch fish quick. They clean everything right out.
They're tough on the.
Then you try to do something that's a federal deal. You know, you talk to them about endangered species. Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, they're so thick on Gull Island right now. That island's just white.
Yeah.
From what I understand
Yeah.
from, you know, and Little Manitou.
I got to tell you something about that. You know, here 2-3 years ago, the park shippers was out there. You know, and that all you know, the cormorants that they can't all walk in there. You know. So they were going to come out, you know, wanted to borrow the Coast Guard pump, and the Coast Guard to wash that off into the lake. And I said, what? I said, you mean to tell me? I said, you're going to wash that off in the lake? They shut up right there. I bet you they did it.
When yeah, I don't know, it's a big problem now, but everything's protected, you know.
Yeah. Well, I remember one time, Don Kanoki, when he was warden here, I said, come on the lake with me. That's when you got some bad upon us. You'd pull up, you wouldn't even live fish. Everyone killed, someone cut in half. So we took a half a box of fish to her at the Park Service. Well, I thought you were going to throw both of us out. He went after Don. He said, this is a federal deal. He said, you ain't telling us what to do. Yeah, right to his face.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I remember Squeak Jones, you remember Squeak?
Oh, yeah.
Up in Corning, me and Dean were up there one time, got some of that E-oil from him. Remember that
Yeah,
E-oil
yeah,
that they used to
yeah.
have? And Squeak was telling me, he says that at the turn of the century there were cormorants here, but those old pondit fishermen shot them all off, and then they started pig robbing them too. They just, you know, them days you could shoot
Now I
them,
see
shot them.
Bob down in Michigan and all that. They got permits down there to kill them.
Oh, is that right?
But that Wisconsin is all good. I haven't thought maybe they do it here, but I bet you they won't.
Not in the national park, you'll
Uh-huh.
never do it. Maybe in a, you know, somewhere else, but not here. There are a lot of problems.
Oh. And I asked the question one time I was at the meeting, I says, how many do you want them here anyway? I said, they're by, well, they are by the thousands now. Craig said now in the summertime, you think it's geese, big flocks coming. That's how big they are now, the flocks of them.
Well, I remember in '78 when I was with you there, when we were at Outer Island Sandpoint, I asked you one time, I said, what the heck are those over there? Because it was too early for geese.
Yeah.
And neither one of us knew what the hell they were. But that was the beginning of the requirements, probably in '77, '78, because they're at Outer Island Sandpoint.
I gotta tell you a comical story about, we had a pond on Roy's Point. And we got one of them cormorants, Don Kanoki happened to be with us. We got one gill. And you know, if you tie a seagull up there, you know, then none of them will come through. So that's what we want to do. Don said, don't do it. He said, boy, there's a fine. He said, they ever, Parks ever come along. So anyway, it got so bad, we got so mad. So we tied one up, just like he was sitting there by himself. We come out in the morning, it was solid black. And I could say, Happy Andrews was working for me. He said, look at that. He said, you killed one. He said, there's 20 more comes to his funeral.
Remember that, Morris? Remember that where you tried everything? Remember you at that Bass Island pot?
Rubber rafts, and I had dummies made in with some little corn cob pipes in them out. Even some people called me one night, they said, Morris, he said, you better get out there, somebody fishing your net. They didn't know, you know.
Yeah. But remember you put that gunners,
Oh, yeah,
and Tanglefoot?
yeah.
Remember that Tanglefoot? None of it worked.
We put electric fence,
Yeah, yeah.
They must have got it first or right, but after that, they were that wise, they'd go down underneath that and get the fish. We'd
Sure.
never touch that fence anymore.
Yeah.
That's when I give up. I thought there's no sense.
You had that, remember that timed gun, or that timed noisemaker?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it'd go wrong every 20 minutes or
Over
something.
here,
I'd get the,
over here at the marina in Badley Island, Happy was working for me, you know, so we put pocket radios in these dummies. We
Yeah.
thought maybe talking music. Happy says if we go over tomorrow morning, them cormorants is doing the polka on the parade pole, I'm gonna quit. He says.
yeah, pocket radios and dummies,
Oh, everything.
and they couldn't outsmart the cormorants.
Yeah. So anyway, I gotta tell you a story about all them dummies they had, you know. So we hung up down the fish house down there, you know. Rope around so they dry out, you know. The cops drove down that driveway one night. Then they thought somebody hung himself. That cop went up town, he got scared to hell. He got some more to go down with him until they finally found out what it was. But when he first seen it, he thought, hey, somebody hung himself.
Yeah. That's it for me, guys. I
Yeah.
gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta run.
Well,
for
thank you, Morris.
Yeah.
This was great. And if you think of other things, we can always do another round.
Yeah.